yesterday. And when I looked at Congress, the first people who stood up and cheered for this guy were the No Kings people. Can you imagine
Isn't that ironic?
Yes. All the Democrats were leading the cheers for the king. But they don't want to have one. I don't understand that.
Well, they need to change their slogan to like "No Tyrant" because that's really what they think. It doesn't make sense. They think Trump is basically Hitler.
Which it led to part of the problem we saw Saturday night,
right?
In my opinion. How about this, man? James Comey. We're going to talk about this in a minute. James Comey indicted. Can we try Brennan next, please? And why do we have to wait to do it over some stupid seashells? God knows there's enough conspiratorial evidence out there leading up to the persecution of Donald Trump, starting with Hillary Clinton, that includes Comey and Brennan and the whole cabal, probably Hillary too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this survives in court or not, but at least somebody's taking another run at it. That smug, that guy's so smug. He replied yesterday to it, and you just want to wipe that smile off his face. I mean, he's just a piece of work. James Comey is. I'm telling you what. We'll get to all that and more for you. We got a great show for you today. Speaking of the king addressing the country, you know, Marc Sutherland, who is himself was born in Britain, was in Washington for that yesterday. Now, he's lived in St. Louis for years. He's been an ambassador of sorts for the British government over the years. Not an official ambassador, but he runs a Stone Ledge Distillery. He's been on the radio. He runs the air show here. He was in D.C. We're going to check in with him in the 7 o'clock hour. I'm just anxious to know, did he get to meet with the king when he was here? I don't even know how that works. I know he was in D.C. for the speech. So maybe he got to go to the dinner last night. Did he say to you, Kim, when you talked to him?
Nope.
So we're going to talk to him in the 7 o'clock hour today just to find out what that whole thing was like, because that's something else. We've got Kiersten Pels on this morning. She is one of the press secretaries. She's the press secretary for the RNC right now. And there's some new polling out that shows, and I'll read it to you. It's a national polling firm that shows the midterm elections at a draw right now. Despite all of what you've heard, it's going to be a bloodbath and all this stuff. So we're going to get to that with Kiersten just a little bit later. We got Kid Rock tickets to give away today. We got Jimmy Failla, who everybody's accused of having an open mic moment at the White House Correspondents' Dinner the other night when he complained about the lack of security prior to the shooting happening. And Jimmy is all in on commenting on that when we get him on here in the 8 o'clock hour today. So we got that coming up for you. Right now, though, Ethan, let's hit our top story.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
And here's Jasmine Crockett. She said this: has there ever been a president have this many close attempts on their life? Attempts in quotes. Maybe it's lax gun laws. Maybe it's lack of mental health funding. Or maybe it's fake. Who knows?
Oh, Jasmine Crockett. Is she running for office again? I thought she was back to just being a bad attorney. She now is suggesting the assassination attempt was fake. Yeah, it's that level of intelligence we're dealing with.
People in the media and the mainstream media, I think, really bear the brunt of the responsibility here. They've been reckless. They've been dangerous in the things that they've been saying. And they're trying to normalize assassination.
Yeah, Carrie Lake, thank you. Carrie Lake is the one Jake Tapper was complaining about, who walked up to the CNN table after the shooting attempt and put the blame squarely on them to their face. That takes some guts.
This case was indicted today. This conduct occurred about a year ago, May 15th of last year. There's been a tremendous amount of investigation. And how do you prove intent in any case? You prove intent with witnesses, with documents, with the defendant himself to the extent it's appropriate. And that's how we'll improve intent in this case.
Todd Blanche there, the acting attorney general, on the indictment of James Comey. Remember the 8647 little snarky seashell tweet that he put out, which he claims he was just walking along the beach and happened to notice it. Didn't understand what it meant because he's just not a very sharp guy. Did you ever buy any of that? I didn't.
The special ingredient in our relationship. As President Trump himself observed during his state visit to Britain last autumn, the bond of kinship and identity between America and the United Kingdom is priceless and eternal. It is irreplaceable and unbreakable.
Oh, what a lovely accent. Yeah, that was King Charles yesterday. The king is in town, and he made a couple of like King George jokes yesterday. He made a Boston Tea Party joke yesterday while he was here. It really his dry sense, his dry British sense of humor was well accepted, I think.
I question what was the purpose of that, but I do see value in that now. And the clips I saw from that, he's a funny guy.
He was pretty funny. Here was his part of his toast last night at the state dinner, which I have to say, you have to enjoy his humor here.
Thank you, Mr. President and Mrs. Trump, for your splendid dinner this evening, which, may I say, is a very considerable improvement on the Boston Tea Party. So, whether your cup contains tea, wine, Scotch whiskey, bourbon, or even cola, let us raise our glasses and voices as we toast the past, the present, and the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Of our two proud and allied nations. To the United States and the United Kingdom, God bless both our countries.
Very nice. I thought he handled it pretty well.
Yeah.
Because what can they do but laugh? Because 250 years ago, we kicked their butt out.
Yep.
But he's right. There's a long tradition there, and I think part of his deal is to try to salvage what the current prime minister in Britain has screwed up so horribly over there. But that said, the monarchy stood by while they gave up the ghost, while they opened their borders up and welcomed in the invaders, and now they're shocked at what their society has turned into. And Donald Trump took that lesson, and they didn't. And he shut our borders down before it was too late and started deporting people. Britain has not done that. All right, quick break here. We're going to be back in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good morning to you. All right, we've got wet roadways out there. Not a surprise, we've been dealing with this, but if you are headed out, you can give yourself a few extra minutes. There was a stall downtown. It was eastbound 44, kind of on the ramp to Madison. The left exit, the lane was closed in the left shoulder. But that's about it for this hour. Other than that, we are fine. So just take care through there. But we look good on the Illinois side, the Missouri side, and down south on northbound 55. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, you're going to need those windows this morning, man. I think my furnace kicked on at some point. It's in the low 50s out there in spots. So if your windows are not getting the job done for you, you need to call Window World. If you're going to shop around, which I suspect you will, whether you're shopping for windows or flooring or whatever, you're going to shop around. And what I'm doing here is giving you advice on somebody to include in that'll give you a free estimate, and I think the best estimate, because let's face it, there's some people out there who will do anything to get their foot in your door, and then they won't leave until they try to sell you something. Window World doesn't operate that way. I've talked to John, the owner out there, many times. They have a laid-back approach. They have confidence in their product. They have confidence in their pricing, which is very fair. So it's simply the best for less is what they tell you, and it's true. Don't buy into some of these gimmicks you hear out there. Call the company that has installed this thermal efficient window for over 80,000 customers in the St. Louis area the past 20 years. A lot of that is word of mouth, and a lot of that is referrals and people coming back to get more windows from them. So if you need a front entry door, rear entry door, whatever it happens to be, you can trust my friends at Window World to treat you right. They're the preferred window of our St. Louis Blues. Call them at 1-800-GET-WINDOWS. Pretty easy to remember, 800-GET-WINDOWS. Tell them Marc Cox sent you, or go to windowworldstlouis.com.
The pressure on data centers has never been greater. Whether you're expanding capacity, supporting AI workloads, or building new facilities, Graybar works alongside you with the solutions, specialists, and logistics expertise you need today. We help you power performance every step of the way, so your operation is ready now. Yep, Graybar does that.
The Cards, the Pirates.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 5:40. Play ball! Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
The home of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Kim, that sound is baseball-size hail hitting somebody's car in Springfield, Missouri yesterday.
Oh, my gosh.
This was the most incredible video I'd seen. Number one, if I was recording this, I would have been cussing so much in the background, you wouldn't have been able to use it.
How were the windows not smashing?
They were. The windows were smashing all around him. The back windows smashed out. His sunroof caved in.
Oh, my gosh.
While he was recording it. And it was incredible. They had baseball-sized hail. There are pictures down there from a Walmart parking lot with windows in every car in the lot were just shattered.
Oh, my gosh.
It was incredible. I don't know who in the world decides with tornado watches and warnings in effect that the most important thing in your world at that moment is to go to Walmart. But the parking lot was full.
People are probably clueless.
Or they just pay no attention to anything.
They don't pay attention to anything.
Wow.
Or, they don't think it will actually happen. They're always wrong. This won't actually amount to anything. And sometimes it doesn't. But if you guess wrong and you have that assumption, you're screwed. I mean, what do you do if I know people were, for example, I know you were coming back from out of town, but what do you do if you truly had an emergency, you're caught driving on the interstate, and you're stuck in that?
I don't know.
And you can't get under an overpass.
Yeah, we were like on the interstate coming back from that trip. What were you going to do?
You're driving
because
and your
I can tell
are
you
smashing out
in the farm fields between O'Fallon, Illinois and Mount Vernon, there's no cover. There's nowhere to pull over.
Yeah.
Even Mid-America Airport doesn't have a parking garage. It's surface parking. There's nowhere to go to get to safety. You're right about that. Here's the other this is kind of sad about this. Animals at the zoo were killed in Springfield yesterday.
Oh.
An emu died. A female emu died. 21-year-old female emu got battered by this baseball-sized hail and died during the storm. And a male rhea, R-H-E-A, was injured and is under veterinary care. I'm not sure what it is. I would assume it's
looks
maybe
like
some sort of large bird.
It's a large bird. Yep, yeah. Looks kind of like an ostrich. Googling it.
So, that's what we faced. Like I stopped on my way back and had pulled over in the garage there at the Galleria and recorded that video saying, hey, by the way, if this stuff does hit tonight, just remember my friend Curtis Carell there, Carell Roofing, will come over and help you. I was trying to be friendly and help out my client and say, hey, here's the phone number just to remind you, if you end up with hail in your neighborhood, here's the guy that will come out. Because what he told me was people are going to drive through these areas from out of town and try to charge you $300 or $500 to put a tarp over your roof to keep it from leaking until somebody can get back out to put a roof on it. And Curtis's message was, I'll do that, and the insurance company will pay for it. You don't want to have to pay me anything up front. The insurance company will take care of that. Don't get ripped off by these people. I was trying to help people out, do a little bit of a service. And people were getting on me like saying, oh, don't play into this. It's April. It hails in April. We were in the danger zone to get the same kind of weather they got in Springfield. Fortunately for most of us, we missed that. They did have some pretty good size, I think maybe some golf ball size hail hit down near Pacific and some further north and east. But we very well could have been part of that yesterday.
Yeah.
So
we had 3 tornadoes hit on Monday.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And some straight line winds. I mean, you think about a tornado and you think, oh, that's horrible. Well, these straight line winds can do a lot of damage too.
Sure. Well, anyway, that's what happened in Springfield yesterday. If you missed it, we definitely dodged one for sure. All right, coming up, we're going to get to Kim on a whim here in just a couple of minutes. A little later, did you know that yet another crazy lib has been fired from their job for gloating on social media that Donald Trump didn't die the other night in the assassination attempt? We'll get to that before the end of the hour. Stay tuned.
License number GL250000615.
We've seen all kinds of clogs, so remember the rule. Only flush 3 things. Number 1, number 2, and toilet paper.
What about my dinosaurs?
No.
My monster truck?
Nope.
What about...
If it's not the big 3, don't flush it.
But if someone does flush a dinosaur...
Call Grasser. We clear the clog and get things moving again.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
The cost of living is going up, Social Security is going down, and who knows where the stock market is going. There are a lot of things you can't control about retirement, but there's one thing you can. You can call the team at Ricken Financial. Their focus has always been preserve what you have and build a paycheck that comes in every month. Call today for your no-cost, no-obligation meeting, 314-207-6211 or at rickenfinancial.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Every child deserves a childhood. Make-A-Wish creates life-changing wishes for children with critical illnesses. A wish sparks a ripple of hope that transforms communities far and wide. When we grant wishes together, we create a movement of kindness, strength, and unity. Join us today at wish.org and be part of a journey that truly changes lives.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
There's a huge list of earnings coming out today after the close. Google's parent Alphabet, Microsoft, Meta Platforms, Amazon Ford, eBay, and Chipotle Mexican Grill, among others. Will McGough is Chief Investment Officer at Prime Capital Financial.
You add the Fed on top of it Wednesday afternoon, too. It's like an afternoon matinee for market lovers. Get your popcorn out because it's going to be pretty exciting.
The Fed meeting wraps up this afternoon, and it is probably Jerome Powell's last news conference as Fed chair. President Trump's nominee to succeed Powell, Kevin Warsh, is expected to be confirmed. Economists are not expecting any change on interest rates today. Also today, reports on durable goods orders for March and housing starts numbers for February and March. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
When I started skiing, I didn't think about setting any records. When I won my first race, I didn't think about how many more I might win. So when I made it to the top of the world, it never crossed my mind to stop. Being the best isn't the same as being your best. There are no shortcuts to the top, so find the people who help get you there. I'm Michaela Schifrin, and that's what Team Stiefel means to me. If you're an advisor or an investor, choose Stiefel, where success meets success.
Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decision.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good morning to you. We are in good shape as far as traffic goes, but we've got wet roadways. Shocker. So if you want to give yourself a little extra time, it's never a bad idea on a day like today. And there is a delay on the Illinois side. It is Route 3 at Monsanto Avenue, where we've got one of the slow-moving trains that goes back and forth and drives you bonkers. It's right there, Route 3 at Monsanto, and of course we have a jam in both directions. Quiet, though, on the Poplar Street Bridge, looking good from North County down into Jeffco. As far as that goes, we are in good shape. This report brought to you by i3 Broadband. Spring is here, and it's time to toss out the dusty treadmill and your laggy cable internet. Upgrade to 100% in-home fiber from i3 Broadband. Plus, they're springing forward with their longest price guarantees ever on the gig speed internet services. No data caps, just pure speed. Visit i3broadband.com/radio and start your spring off right. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sue Thomas, welcome back. Good to have you back, for sure. All right, Home Shield Foundation repairs going to be busy today. All that rain that hit again yesterday, I mean, it poured at my house for the better part of 45 minutes or an hour yesterday. So if you have foundation issues, that water is it finds a way to get into your house. You got to get it fixed. You can't. Putting it off is not doing you any good. It's going to be a hassle every time it rains. Call 314-271-9900. Get Matt over there. Matt will come in and look at your basement with a critical eye. He's a foundation expert. He can tell you immediately what's going on. He can seal up the minor cracks in the wall. Believe it or not, some of those are normal, and most of them don't leak. When you do have one that leaks, they can put epoxy in it that seals it up, and then you never have to worry about it again because they'll guarantee it for the lifetime. And same thing with the sump pumps. If you don't have one, they can install one. If you have one that's just not getting the job done, Matt has got some great advice on what you need to have to make sure that works effectively and when you need it, because that's when you're really relying on this piece of equipment that you don't know a whole lot about. So reach out to Matt today. Tell him Mark sent you, 314-271-9900, or go online to homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley, and this is the sound of our attorneys walking into court. Because when an insurance company offers a lowball settlement, we go to trial, prepping endlessly, interviewing witnesses. We know the loss and the cost of an accident. And when it's needed, we go to war for you and take the fight to the insurance company because we've been in your shoes. Kaufman Townsley, real people, real results. Call 314-777-7777.
Meet Linda. She's stuck in a school pickup line, thinking about what to make for dinner. Are the kids' practice jerseys clean? If she sent out that last email before leaving work. But you know what she's not thinking about? Her HVAC system. Linda is a preferred partner with Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. Members get 2 HVAC system checks per year. We clean and inspect your HVAC systems at each visit. Partners also get priority service and exclusive discounts starting at just $19 per month. Life is chaos, but with Air Comfort Service, you'll have peace of mind with your HVAC system. Visit aircomfortservice.com today. After all, comfort is our middle name.
From Ellisville to Glen Carbon, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Kim on a Whim.
Kim on a Whim is proudly brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com.
What is going on with all the ticks? ER visits for tick bites are the highest now since 2017, according to the CDC. Some guy from New Jersey had a tick bite, came down with alpha-gal syndrome about 5 months ago, and died.
Wow.
So alpha-gal syndrome, if this is the very first time you're hearing about this, it's caused when you're bit by a Lone Star tick. They have the little white dot on their back.
Right.
And it leads to an animal, it's a meat allergy. So it's not even just that you can't eat the meat, which is what happened to him. He was eating a steak and a burger, and he was going into anaphylactic shock and couldn't figure out what was going on, because this is something that a lot of people aren't even aware of is a thing. And so you're not thinking, oh, it must have been that tick bite that I had, weeks ago. Well, anyway, like I said, he ended up dying from this. There are now farmers, including a farmer right here in Missouri, a cattle farmer, who can no longer even have cattle. She can't even go near them. It's not that you, again, can't just eat them. You can't even be around them. You can't touch the cattle, or you could have serious repercussions, and some of them could be fatal. People are now wondering if there's something fishy going on with the ticks. And this isn't the first time people have questioned this. There's questions about what was going on back in the 1950s. About ticks being bioengineered, about them infecting the ticks in order to give people Lyme disease to affect our adversaries. And now they're questioning, are they doing the same thing with alpha-gal? And I'm not...
To affect our adversaries? What
to affect our enemies.
Okay. So we would have dropped them on our enemies at some point?
I guess. I don't really have strong feelings about this whole thing one way or the other, but that's the theory that people have, is that they were doing this to the ticks to basically infect our enemies. And now
maybe they're spewing them out of the contrails, and they're like falling to earth with little parachutes, and then they're getting in people's necks.
I'm not really sure how I feel about this. This is kind of my stance on this. Do I think it's happening? I don't know, but I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past our government or some of these people, like Bill Gates, for example. They're claiming that Bill Gates was funding research into these genetically engineered ticks. And there was some guy by the name of Matthew Lau, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He's some bioethics expert. Well, anyway, he was at the 2016 World Science Festival. So this is 10 years ago. And Ethan, play this clip of what he was talking about.
And if they were to cut down on their consumption of meat, then it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So,
you're one of those?
All right. So the theory is that they're doing this to the ticks to get people onto a plant-based diet, because they're saying, I knew you'd freak out about that.
It's the vegans?
Because they're saying that the climate change and that we need to get rid of all the meat and all the different things. And so that is another theory. Hang on, here's another clip from, again, this is Matthew Lau at the World Science Festival back in 2016. Hang on.
So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you will become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
That is scary. That should freak all of you out.
It's scary that anybody would even talk about
that.
The
fact that he's saying it out loud is shocking.
They slip it into your vaccine when you're a child, your mandatory vaccine, and then you can't eat meat the rest of your life? Are you kidding me? There's a reason we're at the top of the food chain. Who are these idiots?
This is weird. If you Google about the uptick, no pun intended, in ticks, I'll be here all morning, folks, till 9 o'clock. It's scary. So they're saying that alpha-gal affects nearly 500,000 Americans and rising. So these bites are happening more and more and more. I had never even heard of alpha-gal syndrome until about a year ago, when someone who ate a lot of red meat came down with it.
Yeah.
Didn't realize she had a tick bite. And
I know people.
Her whole face was like blowing up, swollen, and she was starting to go into anaphylactic shock, and she did figure it out. But this is something where you could be impacted your entire life by red meat. Imagine not being able to have any animal meat because you're highly allergic and you could quite literally die from it.
Wow.
It's a little fishy. What's going on here?
Matt,
why are we having so many?
Matt on Facebook says that guy doesn't sound like a dude who eats steak. I'm just saying.
Well, he clearly wants all of us to go to a plant-based diet. If you
keep your hands off of my aged steak from Twisted Tree, please. Just back off.
I knew you.
I know the ticks are a problem. We went to some property that my brother-in-law owns just to walk around the property a month ago, and everybody ended up finding little ticks on them. Like there were a lot of ticks in the woods. Now, do I think that somebody from a pharmaceutical company went out there and planted those so that they have to sell me the treatment for it? No, I don't. I think they just naturally are in the woods. But yeah, you have to be careful if you're going to go out. You want to, spray that deep woods off around your ankles so they're not crawling up your pant legs and things like that.
Oh, the fact that they can just fall from a tree and land on your head and latch. Jen is saying there's a book called Bitten that talks about ticks being used as a bioweapon originally for Cuba. The author spoke with one of the scientists prior to his death. See? Very interesting.
See, they killed him because he wrote the book?
Maybe.
Oh, man.
I wouldn't put it past people. Someone commented on our text line, which, by the way, is open, 314-241-9797. Someone said, my good friend was bitten by a Lone Star tick and has this. It's not for the rest of your life, but it will be a decade before you can start eating meat gradually again. That's psychotic. Somebody else. I know 2 people with alpha-gal. It's definitely crazy. Someone else says, you become allergic to all red meat, but you can still eat fish and bird. Okay, I didn't know that. But says Hitler scientists were engineering weaponized ticks with Operation Paperclip. Those scientists came here, never stopped working on it.
Wow, we're getting some deep conspiracies today. Holy cow.
What do you think? Is there a chance that this is happening?
Do I think that it's bioengineered? No, I don't. I do think it's odd that we're hearing more and more about this these days. I don't know where the ticks came from. I don't think it's some mass conspiracy. Maybe I'm wrong.
So there was a pediatrician who was on one of the news outlets talking about this, and they were saying, why is there this huge rise in ticks that we're seeing? Why are we seeing a record number of emergency room
Apparently
visits
there
for
are
tick bites? They say
groups.
It's climate change. The warmer weather is bringing all these ticks out, and they're having a heyday. Lisa saying that, it's Jen now who's saying there's a Lyme vaccine coming out soon. Lyme disease vaccine.
Well,
some are suspect of the correlation of the increase of ticks.
I'm getting all kinds of good stuff here. Permethrin fabric treatment. Somebody sent me an ad for this stuff that you can. It's a premium insect repellent for clothing, gear, and tents. You should spray it on you before you go in the woods. Here it says.
There's a
Stops
chiropractor
ticks.
I have listened to, I know, from the West Des Moines area in Iowa, and she was talking about, like, you take clove, you boil water, you put clove, and then you filter out the clove, and you drink. I forget what the amount was. It's not very much, but kids can drink it and adults can drink it. Very small amount daily to kind of coat your immune system. It kind of works supposedly as a tick repellent, a natural tick repellent, because her point was the problem with some of these. I know people will laugh at me because I'm all about the whole toxic whatever, but that some of the things you would be spraying on yourself to repel ticks can be toxic. And
I don't know. My buddy here
way.
says he's been spring turkey hunting for 2 weeks and hasn't gotten a single tick on him after using this spray.
Oh, I believe it
now,
would work.
He's grown a second head, but other than that, everything's fine.
Who cares?
Nothing to worry about here. I'm just kidding.
Ellie had one of those ticks on her. We found one of those white ones.
That has the white thing on its back, so you knew it was.
Stacy's already freaking out.
Well, yeah, I get why, because it can take a while for the symptoms of alpha-gal or Lyme disease to start, and then by that point, unfortunately, it's too late. So that would mean it's the Lone Star tick. This stuff is freaking me out. Somebody else says I have a cousin in Southern Illinois that has this. That was Steve from Belleville saying that she has a rough time with it.
So, yeah, we got now people warning me, be careful with that permethrin spray. It's only supposed to go on your clothing, not contact your skin. I mean, everybody's got a warning. In other words, you should stay in your house and seal it up and never leave. I think that's the answer. Then you won't get ticks, and you won't have things falling out of the sky like baseball-sized hail battering your head. You'll be safe.
I like to picture the ticks on little parachutes, like you said, just dropping out of trees.
Dropping out of the contrails. It's the contrails.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay, going back to the whole do we believe this or not. I'm not saying that it's like some widespread effort, but do I think that there's some sketchy scientist who was messing around with this?
It's Fauci.
Well, I wouldn't put it past Fauci.
That's who it is.
Screwed us all over with a lot of other things.
And he's got blanket immunity, and there's not a thing we can do about it.
They have until May 11th to indict him. Could still happen. I'm rooting for it. Indictment. Indictment.
They got Comey. Maybe he's next. I don't know. They got to find something that goes back before his blanket immunity, right? All right, we'll get to a quick break. Back in a minute, I'll tell you more about that teacher who is out of a job for going on and lamenting the fact that Donald Trump didn't die in the latest assassination attempt. We'll be right back.
FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good morning. I'll tell you what, we look fine on the roads. I mean, there's a slow-moving train, Route 3 at Monsanto Avenue on the Illinois side, causing a bit of a delay. But other than that, we look good. And that means from out west into downtown, we're quiet on the Illinois side with that exception. And we look good on 55 through the multiple construction zones. So we're off to a good start. Just be careful on the wet roads. You know, that could be tricky sometimes. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
All right, for all of you who have called my friend Curtis Correll at Correll Roofing, thank you. If you think you got hail damage potentially from this most recent round of storms over the weekend, well, he can get up and check on that. If you haven't had your roof checked in a few years, we had a really bad storm coming up 1 year ago on May 16th. You probably need to get your house checked and just consider it regular spring maintenance if you haven't had the roof checked, because it can damage the gutter. It can damage the exterior housing of your air conditioning unit. Those little vents on there that let air get in. Those can get dented and restrict airflow. So many things can happen that you can't see on the roof of your house, and you need an expert like Curtis to get up there and take a look. Now, he's going to do that for free, and if you end up having to file a claim or you need a tarp or something like that, Curtis is going to take care of you. He's been at this a long time, but more than anything else, he's a great human being. He's honest, and you can trust that he's not taking advantage of you, and that's what you have to look out for in these situations. You want somebody you can trust, and you have my word on that Curtis is a good guy before he gets on your roof. 314-222-9529. 222-9529. Call Correll Roofing and tell them that you want them to come out because you heard Marc talking about it and take a look at your roof. They'll be glad to get that done in a hurry. And you want to get if you think you have a claim, you want to get that started quickly so you can get the roof repaired in a hurry as well. Check them out online. Tell them Marc sent you. Go to CorrellRoofingCo.com.
Hey, it's Annie. Grab your clubs and head to Tamarack Golf Course on Friday, May 22nd for the St. Clair County Republicans annual golf tournament. Shotgun start, 18 holes, cards, contest, lunch, and great prizes. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property with selective land clearing. Whether it's for a building site, pasture reclamation, hunting, or trail creation, Missouri Brush Control can transform your unusable acreage into accessible and productive property. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. 5-star rated on Google reviews. See impressive before and after projects today at MissouriBrushControl.com. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to MissouriBrushControl.com.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts, my friends Marc and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Tony La Russa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Okay. Please tell me, Kim, that you can detect when I'm saying something that's tongue-in-cheek or just trying to be a complete smart aleck. Can't you tell that?
Yeah, I would think
I
so.
am not did not intend in any way, shape, or form during your comment about this to downplay the seriousness of this alpha-gal syndrome. I'm not. I think it's a problem. All I was doing was questioning whether or not it's some government-run program designed to give you this problem. That's all. I'm not sure that's the case. I wasn't making fun of anybody who's got it, and God forbid, as much as I love steak, I sure as hell hope I don't get it. But I am in the woods, and that's a possibility. And then somebody writes in here, my wife has this, and it's horrible for her, and Marc, you are a narcissistic idiot. That's from the text line, by the way, if you want to beat up on me, 314-241-9797. When did I suggest that the people that have contracted this are to blame? I didn't say that at all.
Yeah, I think we were just making light of what's going on with the ticks. Why is there such an increase?
People hear what they want to hear. I don't know.
I think he might be just doing two different statements here.
Oh, you think
he might be like a troll?
I'm a narcissist.
Yeah, he's just like, my wife's got it.
All right.
Also, you
Marc.
suck.
And then I said, just stay in your house and seal it up. And somebody said, if you do that, you'll get mold. Then you're going to die from mold.
Yeah, you don't want that mold.
Yeah. I don't know. Somebody else said, thank goodness Sue is back. They're glad Sue Thomas is back. So are we. So, Sue Thomas, we are happy to have you back and hope you had a great trip. We'll talk to you about it a little bit later. Let me play something for you. This happened, I guess, Sunday, probably. The day after the shooting in Washington, D.C., a Cincinnati teacher went on to her social media and said this.
Man, there's been a few creators on here saying that like Friday or yesterday could have been the day. And then I wake up to that news, but not that news. We're going to have to pay really close attention to what they're trying to actually distract us from.
Yeah. In other words, she rolled her eyes and she can't believe she woke up and Donald Trump's not dead. Like, she was so sad about that. These creators were saying Friday or Saturday could be the day, but not. He's still alive, right? Don't think that's a big deal? Guess what happened to the Cincinnati teacher? She worked at a preschool. Listen.
Oh, gosh.
In the aftermath of the gunman allegedly opening fire at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, there's a local teacher.
Allegedly?
I was going to say, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. Allegedly opening fire?
He allegedly had a gun. He allegedly fired it. He allegedly shot a Secret Service agent.
Yeah, allegedly.
Oh, gosh.
God, you can hear it. You can hear the shots being fired. What's wrong with these people? Anyway, here we go.
Fired after she posts disparaging messages on social media about President Trump.
Mike Shell's at the daycare where she worked and has the latest.
The teacher's name is Corinne Baum. As of yesterday, she was still instructing young students here at Bright Path Bridgetown Child Care Center. That all changed when the school found out about a social media post where she seemed disappointed that President Trump was not injured or killed.
Yeah, I mean, you have a right to your opinion, right? She has every right to state her opinion. But you can't avoid consequences sometimes if your employer disagrees with that.
But why are people, liberals, posting these kinds of videos? Was it on TikTok?
I think
okay,
it was
Instagram,
on
TikTok, whatever.
Insta,
why
maybe.
are they posting these videos thinking they're not going to get traction? I mean, these are
Because
the kinds of
they're-
videos that go viral. Do you not have enough brain cells to put two and two together that these are the kinds of things that are disturbing and could potentially lead to you getting fired?
Well, I'm waiting for her to blame Donald Trump for her getting fired, right? The whole Jimmy Kimmel thing that's come up. I mean, that guy, I've also got sound with him this morning. I'll play it for you a little bit later. This jerk thinks he can say whatever he wants, but when Aaron Rodgers said something about him one time, suggesting that he was part of the Epstein Island crowd, he melted down on the air and cried like a baby that Aaron Rodgers would dare to say something like that he knew was false. But he can go on the air and joke about the First Lady getting ready to be an expectant widow, and he thinks that's just fine, that there's no repercussion. If he gets fired, it won't be Donald Trump that fires him. It'll be ABC that fires him. So you do have consequences for your actions. All right, quick break here. When we come back, we're going to get to some more local news, and we'll get you a check of business with our friend Nicole Murray. Stay tuned.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Marc?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Marc found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Marc did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call my friends at Zero Res. Marc Cox here. It's the perfect time to clean your air ducts as you deal with allergy season. You know, your furnace, your AC efficiency, all of that matters. Your air ducts are like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air is going to suffer. Right now, you get a whole system air duct cleaning for just $5.99. Pay less for fresh. Call 314-474-2020 or go online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health From Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Iran better get smart soon.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump posted that on Truth Social at 4 o'clock this morning with a picture depicting him holding a machine gun under the words, "No more Mr. Nice Guy." The president also wrote, Iran can't get their act together. They don't know how to sign a non-nuclear deal. He referenced that last night during a White House white tie state dinner in honor of Britain's King Charles.
May our two countries stand together forever for liberty, for justice, and for the glory of God.
That was before they raised a glass and a toast. As for what the president said about Iran,
we have militarily defeated that particular opponent.
Adding, we're never going to let them have a nuclear weapon. And as the conflict with Iran continues, with the U.S. blockade still in place around Iran's ports, oil prices up this morning, and there's another nickel increase at the gas pump. AAA's national average for regular $4.22 per gallon, the highest since this conflict started. In 3 hours, the Secretary of War faces questions at the Capitol.
There are hearings on back-to-back days, the House, then Senate Armed Services Committees. They're about the Trump administration's $1.5 trillion budget request. It's also the first time Secretary Hegseth is being questioned by members of Congress about the military operation in Iran and the dismissals of Army Chief of Staff Randy George and Navy Secretary John Failla this month. Hegseth will be joined by Joint Chief of Staff Chair General Dan Kane.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. Also today, Secret Service Director Sean Curran will talk to the House Oversight Committee.
As the investigation into the White House Correspondents' Center shooting intensifies, lawmakers want to understand exactly what happened and how the armed suspect got so close to President Trump, Vice President Vance, and other top-ranking government officials.
Fox's Todd Pyro. Back to King Charles and his toast at that dinner last night.
To the United States and the United Kingdom, God bless both our countries.
The king also addressed Congress after holding talks with the president at the White House. Today he goes to New York City, where the king will go to Ground Zero, visiting the 9/11 memorial nearly 25 years after the terror attack. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Good morning, Wednesday, April 29th. I'm Kim Sainanj for 97.1 FM Talk. We're at 55 degrees now at 6:03. The National Weather Service has confirmed at least 3 tornadoes hit the St. Louis Metro on Monday. An EF2 tornado with wind speeds just under 120 miles per hour. That one touched down near Mascoutah, Illinois. Another one hit near Germantown, Illinois with max wind speeds of 107 miles per hour. And finally, an EF0 tornado touched down near Marine, Illinois. Now, thankfully, no injuries were reported. Six Flags is reactivating its chaperone policy following several fights between teens on opening day of its new season last weekend. This policy requires all guests 16 and under to be accompanied by an adult who is at least 21 years old. Six Flags also says guests will also no longer be allowed to wear face coverings of any kind. A man is facing charges for setting an historic Kirkwood church on fire. 25-year-old Cole Mezek is accused of breaking into Olive Chapel African Episcopal Church back on April 3rd, then using a choir robe and a candle to set a church pew on fire. Olive Chapel, which was built back in 1896, had damage to an original pew and also its carpet from that fire. Kirkwood police have not classified this as a hate crime. In sports, hey, the Cardinals beat the Pirates 11-7 the final. Game 3 in that 4-game series coming up this evening. First pitch, 5:40. City SC taking on Chicago tonight. That's the U.S. Open Cup round of 16. The match begins at 7 o'clock. You can listen, though, to the pregame starting at 6:50 on our sister station, Y98. 55 degrees now. We are just before 6:05. I'm Kim Sainanj for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We are looking good on the roads this morning. If you are just headed out, They are wet, so giving yourself a couple extra minutes, not a bad idea. But we've got light traffic out there. We look good through North County, eastbound 70, 64, 40, 44, all in good shape. Even 55 through the nightmare construction zones are actually okay at this hour. Quiet on the Illinois side and on the bridges downtown. So far, so good this morning. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
It's a beautiful Wednesday across St. Louis. Lots of sunshine. The northwest flow is in solid control. It's cool for this time of year, but it's nice. A little breezy as we go through the day. 68 for the high. That breeze again from the northwest. Tonight, clear skies. Pretty good temperature drop with the clear skies and light winds, and we're going down to a chilly 44. Thursday, sunny and 68. Friday, sunny and 62. The weekend looks quiet. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All right, we're at 55 degrees now, 6:06. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show anytime or anywhere. All you have to do is download our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Hey, it's Wednesday morning. We're happy you're back with us. We got Sue Thomas back with us this morning from her vacation. Glad to have her back. And I'm in here alongside Kim St. Ange and Ethan Bright, just bringing you whatever's going on this morning. We got lots to get to still. Marc Sutherland next hour. He was in Washington yesterday. We believe I know he was there to watch the King's speech to Congress, among other things, but I know he had some meetings planned. He may very well have met with King Charles yesterday. We're going to find out in the next hour, so we're going to get him on here. Then we've got Kiersten Pels joining us. She is one of the National Press Secretaries for the RNC right now, and of course there's some new polling out that we'll talk about this morning that looks at the midterms and what's going to happen there. Everybody's projecting already what they think is going to happen, and it's not real clear yet. I think, according to these polls, that it's going to be a wipeout one way or the other. I know people have a lot of opinions on that, but I'm just saying I don't trust every poll that I see, but we'll talk about that. Jimmy Failla a little later. Of course, he was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. They caught him on a hot mic saying something about the security prior to the shooting. And we'll get to Jimmy in the 8 o'clock hour this morning. Stay tuned for that. We're going to give away some Kid Rock tickets as well for you. And it's just we got lots of great stuff to get to here before this all ends up for us this morning. Kim, last night I had to go do the Retirement Advisory Group meeting, which was fantastic, out at the Doubletree in Chesterfield. On my way home, I stopped to see my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge and have a cold Guinness from their tap down there, which was fantastic. And sometimes the factory had an event last night, let's put it that way. And whoever creates green, purple, and pink hair dyes should have had lots of advertisements for whatever artist was performing at the factory last night. So I had to Google it to see who was there last night and heard a name that I have never heard of before. So I'm feeling kind of old this morning because we were watching the crowd walk past Lit Cigar Lounge because they sit right there on the edge of the parking lot just down from Napoli Brothers and about 2 blocks away from the factory. And there are all these people walking by. They look like they have kind of goth looking clothing on, and a lot of them have purple and pink and orange hair, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? There was somebody appeared there named Ethel Cain. Have you ever heard of Ethel Cain?
Nope.
Okay, so it's not just me being old because you're young and you've not heard of Ethel Cain either. Ethel Cain is on the Willoughby Tucker Forever tour right now, and last night Ethel Cain was in St. Louis. And apparently the 18 to 25-year-old, I don't like the color of my hair crowd loves Ethel Cain, from what I can tell.
So she's a singer.
Yeah, singer. Figured that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nope, never heard of her,
Nope,
but
no.
I can imagine her social media is probably filled with liberal talking points.
I would suspect. I didn't see any political statements out of there. I did see. I thought I could see quite a few nose rings as they were walking past, but just a statement there. So good luck to all you Ethel Cain fans. But if your kids were there last night, there you go. Go invest in some pink hair.
Why is that a trend that the liberals want to dye their hair? Is it like they're part of some cult and they want to be like solidarity? Come on, let's all dye our hair blue and purple.
I think it's people who are searching for some sort of recognition but aren't getting it, so they just want the shock value of looking different from other people. That's all I can figure.
Like rebellion almost.
It is, I'm sure. Like when the Beatles came over here and all the kids decided to start growing their hair long, and everybody called them hippies. I mean, it was a cry for attention. Let's put it that way, or individuality, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I'm looking at her Instagram. She has 1.2 million followers.
Oh,
but
I'm
it's
sure
kind of dark.
Appeared to be immensely popular.
Her videos are kind of creepy looking. There is a picture of her appearing to kiss another woman.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. Yeah.
Anyway, that happened last night. Just so you know, at the factory, the place was packed. Like they have a huge parking lot on one end, and we were all the way down on the other end by Lit Cigar Lounge there, and people were having to park that far away and walk down to get to the factory.
Wow.
So anyway, I thought just a little observation there. We got lots to get to for you this morning. We're going to start off with our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
Thank you, Mr. President and Mrs. Trump, for your splendid dinner this evening, which, may I say, is a very considerable improvement on the Boston Tea Party.
King Charles with several one-liners yesterday. That was at the state dinner last night at the White House, where he proposed a toast and thanked the president and first lady for accommodating him here in Washington, D.C.
As you heard from the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney, former FBI Director James Comey has now been indicted for 2 felony counts. While many of you may read this indictment and view this matter as a simple investigation, it is the farthest thing from that.
Kash Patel there yesterday talking about the James Comey indictment. Everybody seemed to have something to say, including, as you'll hear in a moment, James Comey.
The special ingredient in our relationship, as President Trump himself observed during his state visit to Britain last autumn, the bond of kinship and identity between America and the United Kingdom is priceless and eternal. It is irreplaceable and unbreakable.
Yeah, he had several other one-liners yesterday, including one about 250 years ago, what happened in this city. You might call it a tale of two Georges. The guy's got a great sense of humor, let's put it that way.
Well, they're back. This time about a picture of seashells on a North Carolina beach a year ago. And this won't be the end of it. But nothing has changed with me. I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid. And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary. So let's go.
Yeah, and you're still dense is what you are. You're smug and you're dense. I'm going to go back and find the soundbite from a year ago when he was reacting to the picture he took, where he claimed he didn't know what the term 86 meant. He really didn't understand it. He just saw him walking down the beach and happened to see these seashells in a certain order that said 8647. And, oh, by the way, he just took a picture of it and thought it was kind of cute, so he thought he'd put it on social media. He really didn't understand what it meant.
I would not have understood what that meant. If I walked by that formation, I would have thought, that's weird, but I wouldn't have put it together. But someone like James Comey, you will never be able to convince me he did not know what that meant.
I would even excuse that as almost as a generational thing, Kim. The word saying you're going to 86 somebody is an older term. You can bet James Comey knows what it meant. He was the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He's an attorney. He's been around Washington, D.C. for years and years and years. He absolutely knew what it meant. And somebody with that level of stature, I mean, I hate to assign stature to the guy, but he was the director of the FBI, and he oversaw several major investigations that he dropped the ball on, including the one into Hillary Clinton's use of private emails, top secret emails on her private server. He should have had the presence of mind to understand that that wasn't something he should joke about.
Well, and think about...
And we don't know if he did it or not. We don't know if he arranged them like that and then claimed he just walked along and found it. That's the other thing.
Right. Yeah, did he do it or did he truly just find it? But it doesn't really matter. He wouldn't have felt it necessary to make an Instagram post about it if he didn't know what it meant.
Thank you.
Because it would have had no relevance. He definitely knew what he was doing. And then for him to play it off like, oh, I was walked and I found this seashell formation. I had no idea what it meant, but I thought it was, pretty? He liked the shell colors. He liked what it looked like. So he decided to share it with all of his friends on Instagram.
That's a pretty good James Comey imitation. You've been working on that?
I have, yeah. Thank you.
That's good. That's good. All right. We will get to a break here. We're going to get to some more local news here for you in the St. Louis Morning Brief coming up. We've got Nicole Murray at the bottom of the hour. And, of course, we're going to give away some more Kid Rock tickets. He's coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater in the middle of next month, May 15th. We'll do that a little later in the show. We'll be right back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good morning. On the roads at this hour, it's not bad. We do have some wet roadways, but light traffic in general. Now, if you are a northbound 55 driver, there are a few brake lights right around the construction zone there at 141. But then things open up and look a little bit better as you travel through there. And we look good in general in North County and on eastbound 70. It's open from Wright City into downtown. We are quiet on the bridges and on the Illinois side. So off to a pretty good start. This report brought to you by McKelvey Homes. The McKelvey Homes spring event is one of the best offers they've had in years. Rates as low as 4.75% and savings up to $124,000 on move-in ready homes. The event ends on May 31st, so schedule your tour today at McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk about your backyard. I love to spend time out there, maybe just sitting out chatting with friends or sitting around a fire pit. If you're thinking of an upgrade, the only people to do that for you, in my opinion, are the people at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. I mean, they've absolutely got the best looking backyards around. They can take credit for them. You can go look at the digital photos that they'll bring to you when they come to your house. You can see some of the beautiful projects they've done around maybe your neighbor's house, to be honest with you. If you want to see some of it in person, go to their showroom down in Chesterfield, just across from the outlet malls down there off 109. They've got a huge showroom where they've built out these all-season rooms and the pergolas with the louvers on top of them and the fences and the railing, and you can see the Vecadec material down there, which is that vinyl material that is, they call it low maintenance. I call it about maintenance free because it's a lifetime product. You don't have to strip it and stain it all the time over the years. It just takes the weather. It takes a beating. They've got all of that for you to choose from. Plus, you're going to get the great service and reputation of Chesterfield Fence along with it. This is somewhere you want to go check out. 48 months interest-free financing when you mention my name. So call them up. They'll come out to give you a free project design and a free estimate as you reimagine your backyard. Remember to mention Marc Cox when you go down there. It is chesterfieldfence.com. Beat the spring cleaning rush and zero res. Marc Cox here. Buy one room of carpet, get one clean for free. Unlimited rooms and whole system duct cleaning for just $5.99. Visit ZeroResSTL.com.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
The Cards, the Pirates.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 5:40. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
The home of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX. St. Louis Morning Brief.
All right, so on Monday, a lot of us were in the basement, right? For me, multiple times. 3 different times we went in the basement when the sirens were going off. Turns out the National Weather Service issued 26 tornado warnings on Monday. And of those 26 warnings, they've now confirmed that 3 tornadoes hit. I want to say at least 3 because they're so far confirming that those 3 were in Illinois, but they were out surveying the damage even yesterday afternoon. And so they could end up coming back and saying that, yes, some other ones hit other parts of Illinois or even parts of Missouri.
Well, and again, it's why you can't suggest that they downplayed it. I mean, look what happened in Springfield. I played some of the audio earlier. If you haven't seen the video, you need to Google it, honestly. Baseball-sized hail smashing through car windows while people are sitting in the car. I mean, it was that bad, and we knew we were in a risk category for that. And unfortunately, I don't think we got the baseball-sized hail around here. We certainly had some golf ball-sized hail reported in certain areas. It's serious stuff. I mean, it's hard to over amplify how dangerous that could have been.
Well, it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared because
you gotta know.
There was one part of Illinois that had an EF2, and we're talking about wind speeds of close to 120 miles per hour. And even though no one was injured, which, by the way, is incredible, all things considered, there was some pretty significant damage to buildings, to homes, trees falling on cars, things like that. So could have been a lot worse. So let's just be thankful that it wasn't.
Yeah, probably not a great day to go to Walmart or any shopping center. Like the video in Springfield is of somebody sent in video from a Walmart parking lot, and all the cars were just destroyed in that parking lot.
The zoo animals died.
Well, the
just
2 zoo,
sad.
one zoo animal died, an emu, and another one got
Rhea
injured.
or something like that,
Rhea.
pelted to death, basically. Oh my gosh! All right, Six Flags is reactivating its chaperone policy starting on Friday. And this is because of what happened last weekend. It was its opening day, and they're saying up to 100 teens as young as 12 years old who were involved in these fights. They had to send in some 30 police officers to try to break up all the fights. Completely out of hand. So now they're saying starting on Friday and moving forward, if you're 16 or under, you have to be accompanied by an adult who's at least 21 years old. They have to have a photo ID, which that should be controversial in and of itself, because how could you possibly expect somebody to get a photo ID, right, Mark?
It's racist.
Well, and it's sexist, too, because if women have changed if they're married and they've changed their name, how do you expect them to get an ID? It's just ridiculous that you would ever expect people to have that.
Well, here's my question, and I think you make a very good tongue-in-cheek point about that. Why would they have lifted that rule? Is it part of the new ownership? Did they change the rules starting this year under new management? Because they're under new management now using the same name, right? Is that my understanding?
It's going to be called Enchanted Parks, but that's starting next year. So it's Six Flags for this year. I don't believe this was because it is new management, but new ownership. I don't think it's because it's the new ownership. I think it's because of the psychotic teens. This is clearly a problem. Who drops their 12-year-old off at Six Flags and just says, "Hey, Billy, go have fun. I'll pick you up at 10 p.m."
That's been going on for years.
But why? How irresponsible are you as a parent to do that?
Well, you're very irresponsible. There's a lot of them out there. I mean, there's a reason they implemented that rule years ago. I specifically remember our kids used to beg us to take them down there and drop them off, but they had a rule that you had to have an adult with you if you were below a certain age, and they all couldn't wait to get to whatever that age was. What is it? 14 or something, or at some point you reach an age where you're allowed to go and be in there by yourself.
We were going in 7th grade.
But they
by yourself. So what has changed then? Is it that the kids are just crazier, or the rule.
I think we talked about this a couple days ago. I think
Less
social media
tolerance.
has a lot to do with this because when we went, if we ran into other classmates, it was a rarity. We didn't call 100 kids, where now you're putting it out on social media and they see if they can swarm places,
Yeah, it does play a role, I imagine.
Like when we went, we were just happy to have a friend. Hey, let's go to Six Flags.
So you don't think it's the age? You think
left
things have just changed for whatever reason they've changed? Because now the officials at Six Flags, they're apparently going to be wearing body cameras, and you can't wear face covering. So that sounds like it was an issue too, where these kids were showing up with face coverings on.
I also know, like when we went, we were terrified to get in trouble. I mean, that was from our parents, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were more worried about your parents.
Exactly. I'm not going to go to the cops. I'm more worried about my parents.
Yeah.
So remember Pam Hupp? Does that
Sure.
name ring a
Pamela Hupp?
That
Yep,
was such
yep.
a big story, and it's interesting because they have this trial was supposed to start in just a few months, and there was a new judge who was taking over. They ended up pushing it back. So it's been this whole thing of when is this actually going to happen? So the Lincoln County prosecutor has agreed to no longer seek the death penalty against her. And in exchange, she has agreed to a bench trial in the killing of Betsy Failla. That was back in 2011. They're saying Failla was stabbed over 50 times. Her husband, remember, Russ Failla, he was originally arrested and convicted, but then that conviction was overturned.
Why would you, if somebody got stabbed 50 times and you think you have the person responsible for it, why would you not seek the death penalty?
Maybe there's a lack.
I don't want to give you 3 hots and a cot for the rest of your miserable life. I'm sorry. That's what the death penalty was put in place for.
Yeah, but so in exchange, it says Hupp has agreed to a bench trial. So for whatever reason, maybe prosecutors felt like that was their best bet to get her convicted. I mean, there's certain things where it doesn't make sense to me. Like, for example, what's going on with Sam Page, right, in St. Louis County, where they agreed to move the trial because they felt like he wouldn't get a fair trial here in St. Louis County, which arguably you could say maybe enough people know who he is, or at least I hope if you live in St. Louis County, you know who your county executive is. But I mean, this happens all the time, and it's just a way for them to push out these trials, or they want to make sure that they have a fair jury pool, things like that. But
a change of venue. But
right.
They needed to do that in Page's case, not because of a risk of him not getting a fair trial, but him a risk of getting a rigged trial.
But don't you think Pam Hupp is a big enough name in this area? Because even though I wasn't even living here in St. Louis back in 2011, that's a name that I had certainly heard of.
Yeah.
But I would like to see what happens going back to the Sam Page trial. I would like to see what happens with that. If this is just going to be a slap on the wrist, because we know it will be.
The problem with the Sam Page trial is that you have to remember that even after his tyrannical leadership during COVID, these idiots reelected him. Anybody that voted for him, I question your sanity. What if you got enough of them on a trial and they let him go over this? You had to move it out of the area just to get away from people that are mind-numbed and support somebody like Sam Page for county executive after what he did to this county. Unbelievable. All right, coming up, we're going to get to Nicole Murray. Stay tuned.
Are your windows drafty, outdated, or hard to open? Choose Infinity from Marvin Windows. Crafted from durable fiberglass for superior energy efficiency, beauty, and performance. At Lakeside Renovation and Design, we specialize in custom-fit professional window installations that transform your home. Plus, with our lifetime workmanship warranty, you'll have peace of mind for years to come. Call Lakeside today or visit windowsbylakeside.com to schedule your free window consultation. Replace with confidence. Choose Infinity from Marvin.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSupercenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSupercenterofStLouis.com.
It's that time of year. People are looking and thinking what they're going to do to spruce up their yard. Maybe, like me, you've got a graduation party coming up. You got things like that. You got to get
Control of
mulch.
your power
And
today.
where are you going to get that from? Are you going to go to the big box store and put that stinky, smelly stuff in the trunk of your car? You don't have to do that. All you have to do is go to one place, hansonstree.com. You can order your mulch. You pick out the consistency you want, the color you want, and they will deliver it, chances are, to your driveway. You just go in and you type in your zip code, and they will tell you whether or not they deliver there, and then you're ready to go. You can pay for the prices are all right up front there, and Hanson's makes its own mulch, so it's all very environmental friendly. How about that? It's fantastic. You'll love them. If you need trees removed after these recent storms, nobody better to call than Chad Hanson and the fine folks at Hanson's Tree Service. Their work is tremendous. Go call 636-379-1830 or hansonstree.com.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, on the roads this morning, we're starting to see a little bit of volume. And on 55, that, of course, would be in the multiple construction zones that we have along the way into downtown. So northbound 55 drivers a little bit slow at 141, but it's really jamming up around Bayless where you lose that left lane. And then things go slowly through about Loughborough before opening up again. Now, eastbound 70, some moderate volume appearing, a little bit approaching Wentzville and approaching 79, but it's just moderate at this hour. 64 is still in pretty good shape from Lake St. Louis Boulevard into downtown. We're quiet in general on the Illinois side and on the bridges if you're headed in from Illinois that way. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. Simply the finest when it comes to mirror glass and shower doors. You can't find better quality, prices, or service. They have the basics all the way up to the elite. Barron Mirror Glass and Door can't be beat. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. It's 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk about the Retirement Advisory Group. And I got to get together last night with Bob Kershaw and Tammy Kershaw and Thomas Helbig. And what great people. I mean, they really are. They are a family-run organization. They love to help people out, and that's really what it's what they do is all about, actually. And meeting some of the people that showed up last night, thanks to all of you who came out. You don't have to wait for another one of those to sit down with Bob or Tammy, because they will be happy to do that for you for free at their office and just explain to you some of the challenges you may not be aware of. If you have a Wall Street-based brokerage firm, that's fine. When you're accumulating, when you've got to start drawing down your assets, you need to have a plan in place, and that's all they do at the Retirement Advisory Group. They deal with people who are about to enter or already in retirement. They teach you how to protect what you have. 314-993-9494. That's the phone number. That gets you out to the Retirement Advisory Group, and they will be happy to sit down with you. Be sure and tell them Marc Cox told you to call. Go online, set your appointment today at retirementkey.com.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsend. Many of our clients are victims of negligent drivers. They put their trust in us, and we help them recover physically and financially. Their words carry more weight than ours.
They guided me through every step of the legal process with clarity and expertise, ensuring that I always felt informed and supported.
Injured? Call Kaufman Townsley. It costs you nothing to call, but may cost you everything if you don't. Call 314-777-7777.
Bold takes, real talk, no apologies. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, Kim, we're getting a little bit of grief on the text line this morning, 314-241-9797. Are you and Kim going into storm mode? They're worried that we were taking the weather too seriously.
Well, we should. There were 3 tornadoes. Are you making fun of us because of the way we report it? Because of
No, because
the
I
fact that
make
we were
fun of
TV
storm
reporters?
mode all the
Oh,
time.
okay.
Right? I used to we're in storm mode, like particularly when there's going to be a snowstorm. Yeah, we know that, right? It snows in the winter. No reason to freak out over it. Tornadoes and hail or something else, though. That's a different beast and can easily kill you. A snowstorm's probably not going to kill you unless you're not very smart. So somebody texted in here that they did have baseball-size hail in Lonedale, Missouri, in Franklin County. I don't remember hearing that. They said it's the second time in 2 years they've had that problem out there. The video I saw was from Springfield, and it was bad. It was some guy sitting in his car with the hail smashed in his skylight while he was sitting there, like his.
Oh my
his
gosh! I
on
didn't know
his
he
roof.
was in the car.
No, he's in the car, and that's why I pointed out as I played this earlier. I'm not sure how he's sitting there not cussing while this is going on.
Get out!
Wait, listen. This is from inside the car. This is the hail hitting the roof. It had already smashed the windshield. It knocked out the back window entirely. And then the sunroof caved in while he's sitting there.
So what would you do in that situation? Because
I'm not getting out. Baseball-sized hail.
No, I know that's terrifying. But if there were somewhere I could run really fast and get cover,
no way.
So you're just going to sit there. I get that that's not good either. But what you risk the glass falling in and slicing you up.
No,
the sunroof wasn't over his head. It was like centered sort of over the back seats.
Okay.
And there's nowhere safer you could be than under steel. It's not going to come through the steel roof, right?
Well, it came through the glass.
I would take those little shards of glass over being hit by the head.
Being
with a
thumped in the
baseball.
head with one of those things. You'd be like that bird at the zoo, right? You don't want to be the. You don't want to be the emu at the zoo. I know that was sad. So fortunately. We didn't have too much of that, but clearly we did have it in Lonedale, Missouri, and I apologize to you for not knowing that. All right, let's get to Nicole Murray, please. Good morning, Nicole. How are you?
Good morning. I'm hungry.
Are you good? Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel your pain.
Yeah, you know, typical everyday stuff.
You didn't mosey down to the commissary there at Compass Deluxe Studios and get some food this morning.
So we get free breakfast delivered every morning now.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Like made to order? What do you get?
It varies. It'll be eggs. It'll be hash browns, bacon, breakfast wraps, breakfast quesadillas.
The life of a network radio news star.
Gosh.
I'm telling you.
Trisha, are you listening?
Wow.
Do you get back rubs too? What else do they do? Is it like a hibachi thing for the people who work the afternoon shift?
Ooh, I should suggest that. Back rubs would be lovely while I'm on the air. I'm just saying they would.
I just can't believe you get free breakfast delivered.
Tricia Everding, if you're listening right now, pay attention here. This is going to be in our next contract demand there.
Oh, man. Did I get somebody in trouble? I'm so sorry, Trish.
No, but how can you be hungry if you've had food delivered already?
No, it's not. It comes in about 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like counting down the minutes, and I didn't eat a big breakfast, so my stomach's been going all morning.
Good
and I'm
for you. So does Gordon Deal hang around for the free food, or is he already gone?
He's usually gone.
Oh, is he?
My beef stick and my assorted nuts don't seem as great anymore.
No.
That I ate when I hear you get free breakfast wraps.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Good for you. That's
Thank
news
you.
I didn't know. What's going on out there?
All right. Futures are currently mixed. Tuesday, the Dow Industrials lost 25, the Nasdaq down 223, the S&P 500 down 35. Centene has raised its annual forecast for adjusted profit and revenue after a quarterly results beat, as it expects to gain from its efforts to rein in elevated costs. The forecast raise from Centene follows similar moves from larger peers like United Health and Elevance, adding to investors' relief. A new $22 million senior housing development in southern St. Louis is slated to open Friday, with about 70% of its apartments already leased, underscoring the city's growing demand for affordable housing. Evertrue Crossroads in Bevo Mill has 64 apartments available for rent to those 62 and older, making less than $39,000 a year. A new refueling drone for the U.S. Navy, built in the St. Louis area, is one step closer to deployment on U.S. aircraft carriers. Boeing said an operational MQ-25A Stingray refueling drone had successfully finished its first test flight, a 2-hour trip over southern Illinois, on Saturday. Yum Brands topped Wall Street's expectations for its first quarter earnings and revenue. Taco Bell's same-store sales increased 8% in the quarter, fueling the company's outperformance. The restaurant company did not provide an update on the future plans for Pizza Hut. Starbucks has reported its second straight quarter of traffic growth. The coffee chain said it was raising its full-year outlook for comparable earnings and same-store sales growth. Starbucks global same-store sales, which includes cafes open at least a year, increased 6.2%, fueled by more visits to its locations. And finally, a new Gallup poll reveals that 55% of the U.S. workforce is currently experiencing burnout. This has reached a 6-year peak, with stress levels at their highest point since 2020.
Really?
Well, maybe if they had breakfast delivered, they wouldn't be so stressed out.
Does your stress level drop when that food arrives?
I mean, I'm just a happier person when I have a full tummy in general. They say a woman is easier to woo when she has a full tummy.
So are men.
Well, why do you think we take you out to dinner?
Well, exactly.
I mean, that's
what
the
I'm
idea.
saying.
That's why I don't understand why some dude would take you out and not automatically assume that he's paying for it. If he's trying to woo you, why would
he should court
he
you.
should be courting you, right? You see what I'm saying?
But also, the whole get dinner first date thing is awkward. I would much rather go grab a coffee and go for a walk.
No, you'd rather go on a 7-mile hike
Well,
with
that's
somebody
exactly
you don't
right.
know.
I know.
Who could bury you on the side of a hill. You just, I mean, that was dangerous.
Well, thank goodness I'm alive and
Thank
he's now my
God.
husband. But
Thank God
That's
Michael's
true.
a good guy.
But
Yeah.
then you don't have to stare at each other, and you can just, there's plenty to talk about, so you're not just awkwardly chewing and hoping that you don't have lettuce in your teeth or something on your face.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I've split the bill with dates before, but I know Mark would
Not a
look down
first
upon
date,
that.
Nicole.
It was like, no, it was a first date. It was a first
Oh,
date,
I
actually.
did that years ago. I paid for a first date. And never,
Yeah.
well, thankfully I don't have to now, but never again. I just feel like, especially if the guy's asking you out, he
Yes.
should definitely treat you, Nicole.
I guess. It's rough out there, okay?
I have heard it's
I'm
rough.
sure.
I don't envy what you're having to deal with.
It's the worst, but
The
yeah.
girl, it's probably both. The guys are probably thinking the girls are terrible, and the girls think the guys are terrible, and it's just.
I really feel like we're not that hard to please, though. Like we said, keep my tummy full, be honest, be loyal, and we're good.
Easy breezy.
Easy
Not a
breezy lemon
problem.
squeezy.
Hey, eat an omelet for me this morning,
Oh.
would you?
I will.
All right.
I'll eat all of it. Don't worry.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you so much.
All right. Appreciate that.
All right. So just to address what I said, I when we were talking about the hail, I said, get out of the car. And many of you quickly told me how stupid of an idea that was. So I'd like to retract what I said. My mindset was haul A and just get to an overpass. And that way, if the glass shatters on your windshield or your sunroof, that you're not getting shards of glass stabbing you in the head.
Yes.
I see now that clearly it's the better alternative is not to just dart. So there you go. For all of you who are like, oh, Kim said to get out of the car where there's baseball size hail. All right. I hear you. Bad idea.
So I don't know if Sue Thomas can hear me or not right now, but I will say a lot of the comments that have come in this morning have been welcoming Sue back, saying how much she was missed when she's not here. In fact, somebody on the Facebook page, and I'll paraphrase here, said, Sue, you're the best traffic reporter in St. Louis, and if you want to see a diamond, just look in the mirror.
Oh,
Isn't that sweet? Now, she's already married, dude. I'll have to tell you, but thank you for the comment this morning.
We love Sue.
Yes, we do. We're so happy that we have her and that she's back here. But yeah, people have a lot of comments on that, Kim. Like you're going to get out of the car and run while baseball size.
Well, I'm
hail's
just
coming down?
I'm really fast. So I just thought I could run and maybe only I'd get pelted by one. You just cover your head.
I will tell a story that I'm still. I gave my dad grief about this till his final days when we would joke about this. I lived in Ohio. We lived with a farm. There were farms behind us. So behind our yard, you could see for 20 miles because it was just open farmland. And there's a tornado. We hear the tornado sirens. We are watching the TV. There's a tornado warning in our county. We go into the backyard on the deck, and we can see a tornado coming toward us. We can see the funnel off in the distance. Like you can, it's just right there. I'm like, okay. Mom's like, we got to go to the basement. Get the dog. We got to go to the basement. Dad's like, no, get in the car. And I'm like,
what?
Get in the car. And he goes, we're getting the hell out of here. He throws us in this old wood-paneled station wagon we used to have, and he drives away. Now, he drove us south. There's no way he could have known what path the tornado was going to take, but we probably drove 15 or 20 miles south of our house, ended up at a convenience store and had an ice cream. We outran the tornado.
So
unfortunately,
did it do damage to your home?
It skipped over our house, and I think it hit over in Lebanon, Ohio, which was just about due east of us, and did some damage over there. Did not hit our neighborhood.
Man, you're lucky that tornado wasn't an EF3 or 4 that was going over 100 miles per hour, because you'd have a hard time trying to get away from that. The weirdest thing about tornadoes,
don't try to outrun it.
And I vividly remember this when I was a TV reporter, is you'd go cover the aftermath of them, and you'd see one home that was obliterated, and then you'd go literally next door, and the home would not be touched. Yeah. I remember seeing there was a potted plant on someone's porch, and the flowers were still beautiful, intact, and the neighbor's home was leveled, basically.
Saw that in the Good Friday tornado. I was covering that for Channel 4 out near the airport in that subdivision, sort of across off of just east, just west of the airport there. There was a neighborhood that was all torn up, and there'd be one home that you could see down into the basement, and the one next door was intact. It was it's the weirdest situation when you're covering those, for sure. All right, coming up, we will get to other news for you next hour. We're going to check in with our friend Marc Sutherland, who's in D.C. this morning. He was there to listen to the King's speech yesterday, and I don't know if he got to meet with him or not. It's going to be interesting to hear Marc's take on all that for you coming up at the top of the hour here. We'll talk to the RNC Press Secretary Kiersten Pels about some new polling out that shows about a 50-50 tie on the congressional ballot right now for the midterm elections. We're going to get her take on that in the next hour. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. 55 drivers. We've got a little bit of a slowdown in the Crystal City area in the construction zone north of Festus. Boy, that is really tricky through there. And then you get a break. We've got some volume at 141, and things jam up again at Bayless, where they take down the left lane. Now, there's some moderate volume along northbound 270. This is between 21 and 64. Out west, some moderate volume eastbound 64 at Prospect and 70 eastbound near Lake St. Louis Boulevard. But that's it. We're still quiet through North County. We still look good on the bridges downtown. And on the Illinois side, just some moderate volume westbound 64 in the construction zone at 159. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The new Haverty's Furniture Showroom is now open in Gravois Bluffs. Come visit us now. Ready to refresh your space with furniture that's built to last? The new Haverty's Furniture Showroom is now open in Fenton and Gravois Bluffs. Experience Haverty's regret-free guarantee for yourself and shop the latest in living rooms, bedrooms, and more. Visit Haverty's now in Gravois Bluffs.
All right, so we love our new RV that we got. We downsized a little bit. We're looking around and found exactly what we were looking for, a pre-owned RV, a pull camper, a travel trailer at AVRV. That's the brand new location for Apache Village out in O'Fallon. And listen, you're going to love this place. You're going to love the people. It's not some high-pressure sales pitch at all. You walk onto the lot, it's like going to the RV show. There's 300 RVs on their lot. This is a brand new facility. It was built just for this purpose. It's just south of Interstate 70 at Highway K, right there on the outer road. You can see it if you're driving on 70. It says AVRV right on the sign. You can go to avrv.com to find out more about it. But we bought our RV there before Apache Village was advertising on this radio show. I can tell you that. And fantastic. And the thing that blew me away is their customer service. Because I bought my RV there and it's pre-owned, if I have a mechanical problem or something quits working and I'm getting ready to leave on a trip at the end of the week, they will prioritize my camper and get it in and get it fixed so you don't have your trip interrupted. You can't beat that. You can't ask for anything better than that. And that's the kind of service they give you at Apache Village. Now, their original location's still there as well, Apache Village up in Hazelwood. They've been there 50 years this year. And now there's the brand new location out in O'Fallon, Missouri. Stop by and check them out. Tell them you heard Marc Cox bragging about him. It's avrv.com.
What's happening now?
He appears to reference a motive.
Is happening here.
He writes this quote, administration officials, they are targets.
It doesn't happen to people that don't do anything. We're going to continue to do a great job.
97.1 FM Talk.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
Well, this is kind of horrifying. I'll just have to say, you know how much I love snakes. I hate snakes. Oh, I've never met a snake that I didn't want to kill. I just have to tell you that. Sorry about that. I know there are some that do good. A tourist died at a luxury resort after a snake from a snake show, like they had a snake show going on at the resort in Egypt, climbed up the guy's pant leg and bit him on the leg.
Oh.
He was 57 years old. They were able to resuscitate him. Like I would have just died of a heart attack and not the venom. They were able to resuscitate the guy, but he still died shortly after arriving in a local hospital. Apparently it was a cobra. And he was a Bavarian. He was a German tourist, but it happened in Egypt.
How fast did that thing get away from whoever was doing the show and was able to slither up some man's pants?
I don't know, but note to self, don't ever attend a snake show. Thank you.
Why would you do that at a high-end resort?
I
Snake
don't
show
know.
and high-end resort do not make sense.
Yeah, you've seen the one where they play the little flute and the cobra comes up out of the... maybe it was something like that. I don't know. No, thank you.
Well, staying on the animal beat, a rodent infestation at Angel Stadium ended up resulting in a concession stand being shut down. The health department went in there and they found all sort of rat feces everywhere. And they found a hole, the ceiling hole larger than a 1/4 inch, which basically gave the critters the ability to just go wherever they wanted between the rafters and the food stations. So, yeah, the concession stand was shut down on April 22nd, which, by the way, they had a game against Toronto. And so if you are by chance going to the stadium there, you might want to watch out for rats.
Honestly, I'm scared. How is this not everywhere, though? At all of those stadiums.
You just don't know. There's no way of knowing.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's
how
gotta
many
be their
places don't get caught by the
number one priority?
health department?
Yeah, to keep animals like that out. So I'm not sure how you get away with this, but in Ocala, Florida, 2 teenagers got arrested after viral video showing them driving a lawnmower into a Target store and flying up and down the aisles on this riding lawnmower. It was some kind of, I guess it was a social media stunt that they were recording. But of course, police were called immediately and they didn't make it back out of the store before police could get there and arrest these 2 young men who thought it would be funny to drive the lawnmower around inside of a Target. They were charged with criminal mischief and disorderly conduct. I hope.
Well, it's not like a lawnmower can go that fast. Did they really think that they'd be able to get out before police arrived?
I don't know. I don't know. What are people thinking these days?
Why do all the weird things happen in Florida?
A Florida man, two young Florida men were arrested after taking their lawnmower to Target.
Are you guys a fan of Jeopardy?
I watch it with some interest, usually just to realize how uninformed I am. But yeah.
Yeah, nothing makes me feel stupider than when I watch Jeopardy and they answer the question and I'm thinking I would have no idea how to answer that one. I'd be too embarrassed to even write an answer. But some guy, Jamie Ding from New Jersey, ended up having a 31-game win streak that started back in March, and he was finally defeated by some chess player from Philadelphia who won $33,000 during Monday's game. But people were so incredibly impressed with this law student, Jamie, who, again, went 31 games winning in a row. Pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive. Did it say what question finally stumped him?
I'm not sure exactly which question it was that specifically stopped him, but he earned a whopping $882,605 during his month-long run. Yeah.
And a potential hosting gig.
Yeah, no kidding. They like to pick their future hosts from their winners, don't they? For sure. All right, so...
Oh, wait, actually, I do have it. It says it asked for the alphabetically first and last of South Africa's 12 official languages.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on, Sue knows this.
Oh my gosh, I would just, I wouldn't even know, I wouldn't even have an answer to say.
It says,
that's just
there
crazy.
are 12 languages?
It says, well, all three players answered correctly. Afrikaans and Zulu, I don't know.
Don't even.
I can't even pronounce them.
You can't even read the answer. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. All right, so there's this video of a guy in California. Do you know what foil surfing is? That's the one where it has the little blade down in the water and you ride the board up and down like this. This dude is foil surfing in Southern California, and he looks back and there's a great white shark following him. And he went for like 10 miles with this 11-foot great white like right behind him. And the people got video of it.
So what happened? The shark just stopped following him?
I guess it eventually, because, he lived
Oh my
to share the video.
Wow.
No, thank you. I mean, how wouldn't you be even more nervous and, fall off if that happened? All right, coming up, we'll get to our friend Marc Sutherland. He was in D.C., maybe with King Charles. We'll talk to him about it coming up.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Mark Cox, and if you're still looking for the perfect Mother's Day gift, I've got an idea. Head to Hot Tubs of St. Louis. They're having a huge Mother's Day sale. A hot tub isn't just a gift, it's relaxation, better sleep, stress relief, and a backyard upgrade the whole family will love. I'll be live on site Saturday, May 9th from 11 to 1 at Hot Tubs of St. Louis, 5030 Griffin Road, just south of 270 and Tesson Ferry. Come by, say hi, and find Mom the gift she really wants.
Cancer can feel like something we can't do anything about, but you can. There are screening tests that can catch cancer early when it may be easier to treat. Begin cervical screening at age 25. At 45, start colorectal and breast screening. At 50, discuss lung screening with a doctor. Find resources for free and low-cost screening at cancer.org/getscreened. This is a public service message from the American Cancer Society.
KFTK FM from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
The Secret Service Director has some... Dave Anthony, Fox News. Days after the attack at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Sean Curran will talk to the House Oversight Committee. It's Republican Chairman James Comer tells Fox.
We don't want to criticize the Secret Service. We want to make the Secret Service better because we have a lot of people that we have to protect.
Curran met with lawmakers on Monday where he maintained the security plan that his agency had put together for the dinner worked. But there are ongoing questions about whether the Secret Service should change its security posture.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. The suspected attacker, Cole Allen, is due back in court tomorrow. One of the charges he faces is attempting to assassinate the president. Former FBI Director James Comey is also charged with threatening the president, indicted over a picture he posted on Instagram last year of seashells on a beach that formed 8647. 86, a slang term that could mean remove or kill. 47, a potential Trump reference. But Comey's defiant, reacting to the charges on Substack.
Nothing has changed with me. I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid. And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary, so let's go.
The first Comey indictment alleging he lied to Congress was dismissed by a federal judge questioning the legality of the appointment of the U.S. Attorney. War Secretary Pete Hegseth will testify at a House hearing in 2 hours about the military budget, expected to face a lot of questions, especially from Democrats, on the Iran conflict. After President Trump posted this on Truth Social at 4 o'clock this morning.
Iran can't get their act together. They don't know how to sign a non-nuclear deal. They better get smart soon, perhaps a reference to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the Wall Street Journal reporting Trump tells aides to prepare for extended blockade of Iran.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in Dubai last night. President Trump again vowed Iran can't have a nuclear weapon during a white tie state dinner honoring Britain's King Charles.
I offer a toast to 250 years of American freedom, and very importantly, to a great man, His Majesty.
America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a tale of Tina searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Tell Good RX Road and hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Hot foot it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Good Wednesday morning to you. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. Sunny here, but a little chilly as you're heading out the door this morning at 7:03. 52 degrees here downtown at the Arch. The National Weather Service has confirmed at least 3 tornadoes hit the St. Louis area on Monday. An EF2 tornado with wind speeds just under 120 miles per hour touched down near Muscuda, Illinois. Another one hit near Germantown, Illinois. That one had max wind speeds of about 107 miles per hour. And finally, an EF0 tornado touched down near Marine, Illinois. Now, thankfully, despite of all the damage, no injuries were reported. Six Flags is reactivating its chaperone policy following several fights between teens on opening day of its new season last weekend. This policy requires all guests 16 and under to be accompanied by an adult who's at least 21 years old. Six Flags also says guests will no longer be allowed to wear face coverings of any kind. A man is facing charges for setting an historic Kirkwood church on fire. 25-year-old Cole Mezek is accused of breaking into Olive Chapel African Episcopal Church back on April 3rd, then using a choir robe and a candle to set a church pew on fire. Olive Chapel, which was built back in 1896, had damage to an original pew and also carpet from the fire. Kirkwood police have not classified it as a hate crime. In sports, another win for the Cardinals. They beat the Pirates yesterday 11-7. Game 3 in that 4-game series is this evening. First pitch is 5:40. City SC taking on Chicago tonight. That's part of the U.S. Open Cup round of 16. The match begins at 7 o'clock. You can listen, though, to the pregame at 6:50 on our sister station, Y98. 52 degrees now, just before 7:05. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, it's 55 and the construction zones that are causing delays at this hour. And northbound 55 is slowing at 141, and then it jams up again where you lose a lane, the left lane at Bayless, and it continues slowly on up through about Broadway before it opens up. Northbound 270, just a little bit of moderate volume at Gravois and at 64. Eastbound 70 looks good from out west into downtown. Southbound 61, some moderate volume ramping on to 64 at Prospect. And then that opens up. We're quiet through North County on westbound 270 and looking good on the Illinois side in general. This report is brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they have been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. They do windows and siding, kitchens, baths, and outdoor spaces, and they deliver quality craftsmanship backed by lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
It's a beautiful Wednesday across St. Louis. Lots of sunshine. The northwest flow is in solid control. It's cool for this time of year, but it's nice. A little breezy as we go through the day. 68 for the high. That breeze again from the northwest. Tonight, clear skies. Pretty good temperature drop with the clear skies and light winds, and we're going down to a chilly 44. Thursday, sunny and 68. Friday, sunny and 62. The weekend looks quiet. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's 7:06 and 51 degrees. If you want to take the Marc Cox Morning Show or any other great show on the go, all you need to do is download that free Odyssey app. Also, we're on all our social medias live streaming right now on the Window World webcam. Check us out until 9 o'clock. Window World, simply the best for less.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Thank you, Mr. President and Mrs. Trump, for your splendid dinner this evening, which, may I say, is a very considerable improvement on the Boston Tea Party. So, whether your cup contains tea, wine, Scotch whiskey, bourbon, or even cola, let us raise our glasses and voices as we toast the past, the present, and the future. Thank you. Of our two proud and allied nations. To the United States and the United Kingdom, God bless both our countries.
Very nice. The King last night at the state dinner there at the White House. That was kind of a big deal. And you know what? So is Marc Sutherland. He's kind of a big deal. Honorary consul of the UK to Missouri. He runs Stone Ledge Distillery. He runs the Air Show. And right now he's in Washington, D.C. Marc, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I got to know, were you rubbing elbows with the King and Queen last night?
I didn't have the privilege of meeting them directly, but I often find myself in rooms wondering why the heck they let me in.
That's funny. That's funny. So why are you in D.C. then? Did you get to hear the speech yesterday?
I did. I got a text last week from a friend of mine who's a member of Congress from Iowa, actually, and he had an extra ticket from leadership and invited me to come and be in the chamber during the King's speech to the House to Congress. So I was in the room. It was a fantastic speech. For me, definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and a very timely speech as well. It's an important time in world history.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting to hear his he was very, his humor is very dry. Maybe that's a British thing. You can tell me that. But he was, talking about 250 years since the revolution and how important our relationship has become over these years. It sounded a lot like he was trying to mend some fences since our relationship with the prime minister over there might be a little strained right now.
Well, I think he went back to how good partners disagree. I mean, this relationship. There was a slight disagreement at the beginning of this relationship.
Just slight,
just a little one. And it's got stronger and stronger over the years, and of course, headlines like to twist and turn, and of course, there's things that we don't see eye to eye on all the time, but we are one of the strongest international relationships that exists, and it's strong. It's getting stronger. We don't always agree on everything, but that's okay. We're two different countries, but we partner on so many things, and the relationship is not in danger. It's not strained. It's just we have conversations, and Britain is fully behind the United States right now, and the King actually alluded to that. He talked about when 9/11 happened, how the UK was behind the US now, and we're behind you now, or then, and we're behind you now. The relationship's not in any danger.
I wonder what the prime minister would think about that visit, though, in light of what's going on with Iran and them not wanting to help us with the blockade.
Well, I mean, the UK is definitely supporting what the US is doing. We're just actively engaged in the conflict. The bases are open; they're being used. A lot of it is just simply there was a process at the beginning that had to go through, and took a couple of days. The UK couldn't just open up the bases; there had to be an official request made.
Okay.
So once that was made, absolutely. But because for secrecy's sake, a lot of the rest of the world wasn't told what was about to happen, and so then everybody else had to respond, and the UK has responded like we always do. We are a great partner. We have a strong relationship, and we will support the U.S. in any way we can.
Mark, I don't know if you and I have talked about this since they opened up direct air travel back and forth to London now. That's pretty cool. That's a big deal, isn't it?
It is. It's huge. I mean, we've got a fantastic economic, diplomatic, and cultural relationship already, going back to 1946 when Sir Winston Churchill spoke in Fulton, Missouri for the Iron Curtain speech. And this new direct flight, which we hadn't had one since 2003, is going to be fantastic. I know a lot of people in that initial flight. I'm actually going to be traveling in June. I think it's very hard already to find a ticket on that flight. So that's great. So that'll cause expansion, which is what you want. You want more of those flights. But it's a flight that makes sense. It's a flight that should have been back a long time ago, and very, very excited that instead of spending hours in Chicago or Charlotte, we can go to bed in St. Louis and wake up in London. Which will be fantastic.
You must be flying first class, pal.
No. Medication.
Medication. Oh, very nice. That's great. So here's my question for you, because I know that you got to travel over for the coronation. You're back and forth all the time. Somewhere in Buckingham Palace, is there a bottle of Stolac whiskey? That's my question.
The odds are yes.
Okay.
But officially, I've never been informed.
Okay.
I have a good friend who's related to the king who likes my whiskey. I love his gin, and he has received gifts of my whiskey before. and he is known to actually share a drink with King every now and then. So there's a chance, but I don't know if I'll ever find out for sure.
Marc, we were talking last week about how the UK has just passed this law basically banning the sale of any sort of, I guess, tobacco product for anyone who was born in 2009 or later. And they said that, I guess it was Parliament had passed it, but that King Charles still had to sign it. Is that more of just a formality, or truly he could decide whether or not he wants to sign it and that could impact it?
I mean, the British parliamentary system is such that, all legislation starts in the Commons. It has to go through the Lords, and that's a process back and forth, and it can be sent back and forth to the Commons and such. But ultimately, royal assent does have to be given. Now, for the most part, it's always given.
Yeah.
He takes the duty seriously, as has every monarch before him. But once the people have decided that, through their representation, that's the law that they want, he most likely will be giving royal assent to that.
That's awesome. It's a good explanation. I didn't know the answer to that either. Marc Sutherland, great talking to you, my friend. Have fun in D.C., and I will catch up with you down at Stone Ledge Distillery in Defiance one of these evenings for some of your whiskey.
I would love that.
All right, buddy. Travel safe. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
All right. You bet. Bye-bye. Marc Sutherland there in D.C. this morning. And, yeah, that Stone Ledge just opened up down there, a year and a half ago or so, and it's one of the new highlights in Defiance if you haven't been down.
Wish I had a cool accent.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that great?
Oh,
yeah.
Rob, that'd be great. Every time I try to speak with a British accent, I think I go a little Australian.
I'm with you.
All right. No, that's all right.
Well, I just was talking the other day about my daughter was in her final musical for Westminster, and it's The Secret Garden, and everybody speaks with a British accent, and the kids all pulled it off beautifully. I didn't hear Australian or Irish or anything in there, which is really hard to do. Now, obviously, Marc comes by it naturally, but
hello.
Yeah.
That'd be very hard. I'm sure they worked with coaches, though, to make sure, because there are certain words where it's easy, like all right.
Yes.
If you say it with the rot, that really makes it sound Australian versus all right. I still can't differentiate when I say it.
Even within England, there's such a very
different dialect.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty amazing for sure. All right, coming up, we're going to talk to our friend Derrick Morgan from the Heritage Foundation. He's the executive VP. We got a couple of big issues going on that we'll talk to him about, including the fallout from this assassination attempt over the weekend. Kiersten Pels, as well, from the RNC, is going to join us before the end of the hour. I'm anxious to talk to her about this new poll that's out, and here's the headline from it. Fresh Harvard poll showing no blue wave. The parties are actually tied on the congressional ballot. We'll get to all that and more for you coming up.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We are looking pretty good on the roads. Now, there's some moderate volume southbound 61 at 64, slowing at Prospect, but then it opens up and looks fine. 70 is in great shape from Wright City into downtown. We've got some moderate volume on northbound 270, in pockets anywhere from 55 through Manchester. 55 a little slow at 141, and then it jams up around Bayless in that construction zone. We look great, though, on the bridges downtown if you're headed in from Illinois. Really no delays. This report brought to you by i3 Broadband. Spring is here, and it's time to toss out the dusty treadmill and your laggy cable internet. Upgrade to 100% in-home fiber from i3 Broadband. Plus, they're springing forward with their longest price guarantees ever on their gig speed internet. No data caps, just pure speed. Visit i3broadband.com/radio and start your spring off right. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk about your basement and whether or not you ended up with any moisture in there after all of that rain the last couple of days. It really came down. But you know what? Matt Hayes knows the answer better than I do on how to fix whatever's going on down there. It can be something as simple as a sump pump that malfunctioned. I hope that wasn't the problem. Maybe you need a sump pump. If no one's ever talked to you about putting one in, Matt can tell you how that works and the difference it can make in your basement. It just takes that water level and gets rid of it for you. You don't have to worry about it backing up into the basement, but you have to have a sump pump that's reliable. He is not a big fan of the ones that you buy in the big box stores. I can tell you that. So if you have questions, call him and ask him. 314-271-9900. Matt will tell you his true feelings on that. He's an honest guy. He's a local business owner. When he gives you his word, he means it. He gives you a lifetime guarantee once he waterproofs your basement. Whatever the problem is you've called him over there for, he can get it taken care of and not upsell you. That's not what he's there for. 314-271-9900. Tell him Marc Cox sent you. And if you got more questions about what they do, just go to their website. It's HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
How would you like a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter of St. Louis, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer? Give yourself peace of mind now by calling for a free estimate. 314-499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings, up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
Why wasn't the security perimeter further out?
There's a reason, but I'm not going to get into that because it's classified. I don't want to get into why we do that, but there is a reason.
But again, do you think that should be the case going further? That people shouldn't have access to that hotel? Should it be at that venue?
It's 2 separate sites. So thanks. All right, thank you.
Wow, that was the Secret Service director there taking some questions from reporters on the security situation at the hotel there for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And, obviously questions are going to be raised. How did the guy get the weapons in the building? Why wasn't it more secure? Why there's a ton of questions. Bottom line is they got the guy. He was trying to run through a gauntlet of agents. And how he didn't get shot, I don't know. Don't have an answer to that. But it's what we do know is we have some insight into what was going on in his brain right now. We are fortunate enough to have Derrick Morgan with us, Executive Vice President at the Heritage Foundation. Derrick, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah, just your thoughts on that. Obviously, you exist there in the Beltway, and security is ever present. I saw yesterday where somebody went out and interviewed John Hinckley Jr., the guy that tried to assassinate President Reagan, and he said, well, you probably shouldn't use that hotel because it's not safe because that's where I shot my president.
Right. It's really unreal. Obviously the security was woefully inadequate. I traveled around for 4 years with Vice President Cheney going in and out of these types of events. The biggest problem is you had the president, the vice president, and the speaker all there, and this was not treated, like a national security event. The level of security that you really need when you've got, the first three, two in the line of succession, and the president there. So there's definitely problems there, but the even bigger problem is that we've got the left with some very irresponsible rhetoric from celebrities to office holders to the former director of the FBI, all talking about hurting or killing President Trump.
Yeah, how much do you think of that is to blame for what happened? This dangerous rhetoric, like you said, coming from certainly just people on the left, but then you have some big names, like, for example, Barack Obama and the way he phrases some of the posts that he puts out on social media.
Yeah, we live in a polarized age, politically polarized age. There's no doubt about that. And a number of the folks on the left come into it with a mindset of we cannot give an inch here. And nobody ought to be defending this guy. I wouldn't say they were defending him per se, but it was, look, we need to wait and see all the details and the facts and the motives, and that's okay to an extent. But when it's done as a way to try to pause what should be a very quick denunciation of political violence, be it against President Trump or against President Biden or whoever on the other side, we just need to be categorically coming out saying this is completely wrong. No matter what the motivation.
I agree with that completely. Derrick Morgan is our guest right now from the Heritage Foundation. You guys have a great piece contributed there by Victor Davis Hanson today on the Daily Signal. I would encourage people to go read this because it looks at this manifesto, and everybody can read it now. It's out there for people to read. And he points out that it's a glimpse into the mind of the opposition, the progressive left in this country. And you can understand where, this guy was susceptible to the conspiracy theories and everything that's been promulgated, to use Victor Davis Hanson's word, by the left. And you've got people that are just prone to believe all of that. And this shooter was one of them.
That's right. And there's, all kinds of a mix of reasons. Supposedly Trump's a pedophile, et cetera. You have the rhetoric of these celebrities have been calling him Hitler for years and years. And Hitler's responsible for the death of tens of millions of people in the Holocaust and other enemies that he killed. Right. And so that's just completely irresponsible. This has been happening for a little while, but the left has really turned up the volume with President Trump. And you see it even yesterday with this, with the Comey indictment on the 86-47 meme idea, which is a clear coded message that the president needs to be eliminated. It's just completely irresponsible.
Taking a left turn here, Derrick, there was another article on the Daily Signal, and it's talking about Usha Vance and her efforts to make sure that literacy is improved among children, because that has been a serious concern. When you look at the reading levels, even here in the state of Missouri and Illinois, it is really sad thinking about how far behind many of these children are.
It is, and they're related, unfortunately, because the less that we're able to think critically for ourselves, the more we're going to be swept up with social media, and now entering this AI age, where people are not reading as much, and instead, the average 35-year-old is more likely to have online gambling debt than he is to read a book.
Wow.
And Sass mentioned that the other day. If all we're going to do is to take the summary of what some AI bot tells us, and we're not going to read deeply, it's a big, big problem. That's why I think these are so related. We need critical thinking. We need to really encourage our children early to read whole books. And I think what Usha Vance is doing is really fantastic.
Well, and they've taken away phonics and all of those tools that used to work so effectively years ago, and most of that's been replaced now. And I think you see the result of it.
Yeah, you do. And let me just give you one little anecdote, and that's the SAT and the way the SAT is evolving. It used to be that you'd have a passage of 750 words, and by the way, that's not book length, that's op-ed length. But even that was deemed to be too big, and now we're down to 25 to 150 words with one question instead of a chunk of text, 750 words and 10 to 12 questions. So are we really setting up our young people to be force-fed very short snippets of information instead of thinking and reading deeply and having the kind of discussions that, we had in American education, certainly prior to Dewey, and that we still see in pockets in America with classical education and the like.
It is a fantastic point. Derrick Morgan, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Heritage.org, dailysignal.com, and we're going to be back with the RNC right after the break.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
At a local speed dating event, homeowners weren't looking for love. They were looking for the one.
Honey, I got the best news.
What, you installed all the ceiling fans?
No, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Yeah, oh, you are, but this one is certified, background check, and everyone was fighting over him. Plus, he can install all the ceiling fans.
Okay, who is this guy?
A Jerry Kelly technician.
For heating, cooling, electrical, or plumbing, find the one for your home. Schedule today at
JerryKelly.com. Ronald Reagan once famously said, "Government is not the solution, government is the problem." When it comes to economic growth, government can be a roadblock. With red tape, regulations, and subsidies, government stifles entrepreneurship and also props up businesses that deserve to go under. Unlike government, free markets encourage risk-taking, freedom to succeed or fail. Governments shouldn't be picking winners and losers, the market should. Free markets benefit the business owner and the customer by encouraging competition. Free market enabled a young man named J.C. Hall selling picture postcards in Kansas City to turn his idea into Hallmark cards. In St. Louis, the free market made it possible for Adolphus Busch to turn his father-in-law's local beer into the world's largest brewery. A free market also means you get to send your kids to the school of your choice. Learn more about free markets at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, it has been pretty pleasant. Now, if you're a northbound 55 driver, you are encountering the usual volume through the construction zones, a little slow at 141, then ramping on to northbound 270 and again at Bayless to the north. Now, northbound 270 has some volume in pockets, 55 through Manchester. Southbound 61, definitely some slow pockets headed down towards 64 this morning. And then it's a little slow at Prospect and at Timberlake Manor and at the Innerbelt, with westbound slowing near Hampton. Now 70 eastbound, a slow pocket approaching Wentzville, but then it opens up, and we do have some volume on the Illinois side. 64 westbound at 159 and headed for and crossing the Poplar Street Bridge. Going in that direction is a slow go. This report is brought to you by The Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, Gloria Lou is the real estate agent that I used when we sold our house. Coming up on 2 years now. Gosh, it was the summer 2 years ago. Time has flown by. I can't imagine using a better person, though, to sell our house, because Gloria is like a counselor. And if you are going to sell your home anytime in the near future, if you've had that conversation, you need to start by calling Gloria. 314-325-6888. That conversation doesn't cost you a dime. You can consult with her. She'll give you a free analysis of what your home is worth in your neighborhood, in this market. She can talk about market conditions. And you can also ask her questions about her guarantee. The only realtor in town that I know of who's going to put in writing that she'll sell your house or she'll buy it, and that she's going to sell it for 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. Ask her how that works. It makes a big difference which real estate agent you choose. It's the biggest financial investment for most of us. You want to make the right decision right off the bat. And for me, that's my friend Gloria. 314-325-6888. Tell her Mark told you to call, or go online anytime to GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
bringing a data center online takes more than equipment. It takes precision. Graybar helps customers predict, stage, schedule, deliver, and verify every step of the build with critical products that are available now. From networking and wireless to critical power and testing tools, our teams help you reduce downtime risk and keep projects on track. Speed, scale, ready now. Yep, Graybar does that.
Built on backbone, not buzzwords. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative.
Telling somebody to go and find a clip of a Democrat invoking violence.
Let's extinguish him for good. I will go and take Trump out tonight.
We're going to fight it in the courts, and we're going to fight it in the streets.
When they go low, we're going to bury them below the Capitol. That's what we're going to do.
We take them to the mud and choke them out.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
We're walking down a damn different path. We're fighting fire with fire. We're going to punch these by taking behind the gym and beat the hell out of them.
Now punch back, kick back, dunk over their heads, and win some power.
Fight back, punch back, and make sure that they stay down. And you know what? Kick them when they're down because they deserve it.
Yeah, just a little glimpse for you, a little montage of the rhetoric you hear from the left in this country. The first one was Jasmine Crockett. Show me evidence of somebody suggesting violence against the president. Well, it's not hard to find. Anybody with a few minutes to Google it can find those exact same bites I just played for you. And it's disturbing because it's coming from one side. We got Kiersten Pels with us right now, a national press secretary for the RNC. Kiersten, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. You know, every time this happens, third time now, we have everybody saying we need to tone down the rhetoric. But the rhetoric never tones down from one side of this political debate.
It certainly does not. I really appreciated those clips that you just played of all of the Democrats calling for violence. I think those are just a few examples. But we also have a Democrat Party that is increasingly using this extreme rhetoric that when you look at the shooter from the White House Correspondents' Dinner, this was someone who was motivated by a far-left ideology and a hatred of President Trump, members of the administration. And another thing that we've been pointing out over at the RNC is it's not only just the incitement or the inflammatory rhetoric, the putting in the permission structures for violence, but it's also the silence after the fact, after this act of violence. The chairman of the RNC on Monday put out a statement condemning the silence of the Democrat candidates and officials who have still refused to condemn the gunman's actions. I mean, this is a large group of Democrat officials, many of whom are running for Congress and are running for Senate or for in the House races. For example, like Roy Cooper, John Ossoff, Sherrod Brown, and then Abdul El-Sayed in Michigan, who just a few weeks ago appeared on Hassan Piker's podcast, a far left radical who is called to gut his opponents, and it's called for violence on Republican Senator Rick Scott. These are people who, at the very least, refuse to condemn this kind of action. But unfortunately, you also have individuals who are actively embracing far-left extremist rhetoric, and they are not backing down. And it's deeply unfortunate this strain of extremism has really infiltrated the Democrat Party, and that the so-called leaders of the Democrat Party are so spineless, they're unable to condemn what's going on.
How does the RNC, how do we respond to this? Because I don't think the answer is just to stoop to their level, but sadly, their dangerous rhetoric is effective, at least effective on people like the White House Correspondent Dinner shooter, who are brainwashed and they truly think that Trump is Hitler and is therefore justified in trying to kill him.
Well, that's right. And I think that, you know, President Trump is someone, this is the third assassination attempt that has been carried out against President Trump. And I think something about President Trump is that he's someone who's going to not be intimidated. He's going to keep fighting. And I really deeply admire that about him and other members of the administration who they know their lives are in danger. I think a lot of these individuals have become radicalized online, and they get into these chat rooms, they message each other. A lot of them, again, this shooter specifically was really parroting a lot of left-wing talking points that are just nothing more than maybe what you would hear on MSNBC.
Right.
I think that the Democrat Party leaders have a moral duty to police their own side and to call this out. We at the RNC are committed to holding them responsible. If they do not condemn, call out, and specifically respond to this kind of violence, we will hold them to account. We will make sure that we will flag it for members of the media. We will be making sure that they are asked these difficult questions. They're not going to be able to hide from this, because at the end of the day, this is a left-wing violence problem, and this is something that the left wing is responsible for. I think, obviously, on our side, we can be responsible with our language as well, but I think Republicans, broadly speaking, we're the party of freedom. We live and let live. We are happy to have conversations with those we disagree with. It's the left that is increasingly filled with hatred and intolerance, and increasingly radicalized towards really just severe hatred and violence directed at Republican officials, members of the Trump administration. And so I really think that we have a duty to call out these Democrat officials. And if they want to be a rising leader in the Democrat Party, their feet will be held to the fire, especially as they're campaigning across the country in a very competitive midterm environment.
It's a great point. Kiersten Pels, our guest, RNC National Press Secretary. I've said forever, the people on the left preach tolerance unless you disagree with them. And then they're just fine with the rhetoric that we just heard from that soundbite there. And it's sad that continues. And I don't see an end to it, because the mainstream media in this country is in many ways an extension of the Democrat Party. In the alphabet mafia, the president calls them out for it all the time. They participate in it, and they make it worse. They amplify it in many ways. So I don't know how we get around that. Switching gears for a minute, I came across a Harvard poll here, Kiersten, I wanted to get your take on, and it was a Harvard Capps Harris poll from April 23rd to the 26th, so just this week, 2,745 registered voters, and it was a dead tie talking about the midterms. 50% support for each party on a generic congressional ballot. And if voter engagement even shows a slight Republican edge here. If you just listen to the mainstream media, there's going to be some sort of a blue wave in the midterms.
Well, that's right. And that poll broadly tracks with what we're seeing at the RNC, what we have been seeing for months. This is not a foregone conclusion whatsoever. And in fact, we see a lot of headlines, a lot of sensationalism, a lot of left-wing journalists talking about how, we're doomed. But at the end of the day, the polling, the generic congressional ballot has always been close. This is the closest one I've seen, but we've seen polls that come within 3 to 5 points. That's within the margin of error. That actually shows that there's a Republican advantage, because typically these polls actually skew to the left. Typically, our voters are not ones to answer in polling questions. So there's a little bit of a selection bias there to begin with. And in a midterm environment, typically we know that the party in power it faces more headwinds. It's more difficult to win in a midterm cycle. And so the fact that it's that close really, I think, says a lot. One thing that I think it really does say is voters do not trust the Democrat Party. Their brand is in the trash. It doesn't matter that there are headwinds when you put up against a Republican and Democrat Party, because at the end of the day, voters remember what life was like under 4 years of Democrat governance under Joe Biden. It was not that long ago. And I think that what they see out of these so-called Democrat leaders is they just see more of the same. They see calls for impeachment, for sham investigations. They remember what this is like. These Democrats, if they get into power, do you think they're going to offer solutions? No, they're running these ads in these competitive battleground states talking about how they're going to run on impeaching Trump. That they have no solutions. They have no policy prescriptions. They're not running on how they're going to make life better for the American people. So even if there are headwinds, even if it is a difficult midterm environment, at the end of the day, voters have seen the direct contrast between what Democrats have to offer and then what Republicans have to offer. You may not disagree. You may not agree with every single policy, but you can't argue that this administration has been churning out tax cuts, working so hard on prescription drug pricing, on bringing those down, on bringing down inflation, on everything he's done across the board to make sure that we can make life more affordable for Americans. And I think that this Iran war will be wrapping up in short order. I know the administration wants this to be a short-term conflict, and they're expecting gas prices to continue to come down after this conflict is wrapped up and we secure this deal and make sure that Americans are safe. And I think that, again, voters see that. They see the southern border. They see law and order in their communities. They see the fact that they're more safe and more prosperous under this administration. And I think that dividing line is very stark. And I think Democrats really have nothing to offer there, completely rudderless, completely leaderless. And that's, by the way, ties back to the violence point. That's why they have no one in their party to lead them and say, hey, we actually shouldn't be encouraging political violence. We should actually offer a vision. We should offer a solution for the American people. They have not a single person on their side who can say that.
Well, now the big question is who will be running for the Democratic nominee for president? So Gavin Newsom seems pretty obvious. One of the big questions, will Kamala Harris run for president? What's your take, Kiersten?
Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, again, the fact that she's even polling so high really tells you about the Democrats party has no one. If all they have is a failed Kamala Harris who can barely string two sentences together, or Gavin Newsom, who, by the way, is funding sex change surgery for illegal aliens with taxpayer money in California. He is on a deranged quest to drive California into the ground. He wants to make America California, which it's a beautiful state, and it's tragic what he's doing to it, along with the other California Democrats. The American people are not on board with that kind of agenda. And so, yeah, I think when you look at what the slate of Democrat candidates that are being talked about in 2028, you have, again, a failed candidate who lost big time. She's incoherent. She really cannot even speak. And then you have Gavin Newsom, who is a parody of himself at this point. I mean, I thought the headline that I saw was the Babylon Bee, but it was actually just literally Gavin Newsom taking taxpayer money to fund, again, sex change surgeries for illegal aliens. That is crazy. And if that's the leader of the Democrat Party, then good luck to them, because I really don't think it's going to go over well.
They're in good shape, that's for sure. Kiersten Pels, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. We'll have you on again soon with the RNC there, and great to get her on here. By the way, the other thing that I thought was interesting in this poll is they talk about Trump's approval rating here slipping overall, but among GOP voters still remains at 79%. Among the people that are going to go out and vote for Trump, it still remains high at 79%. And they tested net favorability. That means more than 50% of the people view you with favorably, right? Only two people in this poll on the Republican side. Well, actually, this has got everybody's name on here. Only two people enjoyed positive net favorability when asked, how do you like this person? So that means it was either very favorable, or never heard of them. So in other words, it would be a net positive if they were above 50%.
Please tell me that nobody answered never heard of him for Donald Trump.
No, that was a very tiny category. Do you know who those two people are? You want to guess?
Who?
RFK Jr. and Marco Rubio.
Really?
Were the only two people out of the 25 polled here who had positive net favorability.
I'm shocked at RFK Jr.
Trump was close, but he was close, but only Kennedy and Rubio managed to get above the 50% level.
Not surprised at Rubio. Am surprised at RFK Jr.
Not even J.D. Vance came close as well, but
that's because he's too associated with Trump.
Probably. All right, quick break here. What are we talking about at Kim on a Whim?
Well, apparently it's racist, sexist to expect people to have a photo ID in order to vote in one of our federal elections. But if you live in the city of St. Louis, thanks to a new program, you should have no excuse to not have a photo ID to vote.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We have the usual volume out there on the roads this morning. Northbound 270, slow pockets anywhere from 55 up through Ladue Road. 55 slowing in the construction zones at 141, and then from Bayless on up. Eastbound 64, moderate volume at Prospect, at Clarkson, and then in pockets from Lindbergh through Big Bend. Westbound lines up near Hampton now, out through Hanley. And 70 isn't bad. A slow pocket of moderate volume or two headed for the Blanchette Bridge. Heavy traffic on the Illinois side, westbound 64 in the construction zone at 159. And then headed for and crossing the Poplar Street Bridge. That seems to be a slow go as well. This report brought to you by McKelvey Homes. The McKelvey Homes Spring Event is one of the best offers they've had in years. Rates as low as 4.75% and savings up to $124K on move-in ready homes. Now, the event ends on May 31st, so schedule your tour today at McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk zero res. We're getting, 29 days into April now, which means the month is almost over. You are about to miss out on your opportunity to get one room of carpet cleaned and get one cleaned for free from my friends at Zero Res, because that deal is going to expire after tomorrow. You need to get on the horn and call them today, 314-474-2020. Take advantage of this. It's a fantastic deal. You're ready for spring. You're ready for friends and neighbors and parties and all of that, because your house is zero resified, no harsh chemicals, no soaps that they leave behind, no residue, hence the name Zero Res. And they'll get in your house and get it done. So call them today. Tell them you heard it on 97.1, and you want to get one room of carpet. You want to buy one, get one clean for free, plus only $5.99 for a whole system air duct cleaning, where they will zero resify your air ducts on top of everything else. Get it done today. Here's the number again, 314-474-2020, or go to ZeroResSTL.com.
97.1 FM Talk in Action is spotlighting Our Ladies Inn, providing safe shelter, care, and support for pregnant women and children facing homelessness. Since 1982, they've helped local families build stable, independent futures. Learn more at OurLadiesInn.org.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property with selective land clearing. Whether it's for a building site, pasture reclamation, hunting, or trail creation, Missouri Brush Control can transform your unusable acreage into accessible and productive property. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. 5-star rated on Google reviews. See impressive before and after projects today at MissouriBrushControl.com. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to MissouriBrushControl.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is St. Louis Conservative. Kim on a Whim.
Kim on a Whim is proudly brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com.
Hey St. Louis, I'm excited to announce today you can get your Gateway ID. So today the Treasurer's Office officially launched the Gateway ID, which this was from a bill I sponsored to create St. Louis's first municipal ID program. Actually, the region's only municipal ID program. It's no cost. Anybody who is a city resident and can show proof of who they are can get this ID. You can get discounts at businesses.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
So
that's
you're
racist.
So you're telling me that people are able to get their hands on this ID, a photo ID with all their information, but they're too stupid to get a photo ID that you can use to vote? This Gateway ID that this program the city is offering, where you get one of these for free in order to be able to access city services and other benefits, includes the cardholder's name, their picture, address, date of birth, height, color, gender. I'm surprised they even said gender instead of...
Does it say gender?
It actually says gender. I'm shocked. A Gateway ID card identification number and the expiration date. So it seems like a lot of information. So what happens, though, Mark, if somebody got married and changed their name? What do they do?
But most people that, particularly women that get married and have changed their names, if they do that, are just too stupid to go back and get it changed. Don't you agree?
I know. I think we are too stupid.
the risk, you have to run the risk there.
I know. Now, so as I mentioned, you cannot use this for voting. You can't use it to buy
So
alcohol
why do you need
or
it?
tobacco. You can't use it to board a flight. No, nothing for any sort of like a federal identification purpose. You can't use this so-called gateway ID that it's been dubbed. It's allowing you to get services like housing and healthcare, and they're saying that in some cases you might need it for education, I guess to enroll in a school or something like that. But they're saying that this
if you can get that, why can't you get a driver's license and use that to prove who you are? Or if you're not driving, you can get a state issued ID for a little bit of nothing at any DMV.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would completely agree. They're saying this ID card is a source of civic pride and provides a safe, accessible form of identification for residents. So maybe they're trying to say that they're in some ways removing the barriers that other people have to go through if you need to driving to the DMV maybe. I don't know what other barrier there would be, but it seems that the way they're phrasing it almost is alluding to, this is an accessible form of ID.
It's a city license. It's
free.
Not a state license.
What does a driver's license cost? $15,
It's
if
not
that?
much. It's not much.
And you know what? If someone's going to sit there and say, I can't afford to get a driver's license. In fact, there was some, I guess, the federal government that was looking into what's going on with the SNAP benefits, people who are receiving government aid, and it found that thousands of people who are receiving these SNAP benefits were driving luxury cars, and those were in red states. So this director who was looking into all of this, she says, imagine what's going on in the blue state. So I'm not saying that everybody who's getting government assistance is doing this, but I'm just making the point that people who sit there and say, I can't afford it. Sure, there are people where that would certainly be a stretch, but I would guarantee the vast majority of people who want to make that argument of why they can't get a driver's license to vote because of the financial barrier or whatever, that's a bunch of bogus.
It is bogus. Somebody's saying these IDs are going to pop up in blue cities across the country. Anyone can get one. It's free. You just have to prove that you live in the city. And somebody else said they're going to argue that it can be used to vote.
No, it cannot. Not according to the city's website.
Yeah.
You can try to vote with it, but it's saying you can't.
Are they just too dense to realize that they're making our argument for us? I mean, did they really not get it? That they're opposed to you being forced to show an ID because they think they want to argue that their own voters are too stupid to get the necessary documents together and go to the DMV and get an ID. It doesn't have to be a driver's license.
What would the other barrier be? Seriously, unless it's the whole married thing, which again, why would it not be in the same situation with this?
I think it's 2 words. IQ. Can we need Kamala Harris to,
tell
like
us
AI, tell us
yeah.
what that means exactly? I don't know. If you have a low IQ, you cannot do that. I think that may be the problem. All right, next hour, we're going to give away some Kid Rock tickets and talk to our friend Jimmy Failla, who was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner on Saturday night.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down in the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion, The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600. Or on the website, bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
The Cards, the Pirates. Siteman Cancer Center game time 5:40. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer. The home of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Iran can't get their act together. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump wrote that on Truth Social this morning, adding Iran better get smart soon. In a post that includes a picture portraying the president holding a machine gun under the words, "No more Mr. Nice Guy." After he said this during a white tie state dinner honoring Britain's King Charles.
And we're never going to let that opponent ever. Charles agrees with me even more than I do. We're never going to let that opponent have a nuclear weapon. They know that.
Now, the Wall Street Journal reporting Trump tells aides to prepare for extended blockade of Iran. Quote, he assessed that his other options, resume bombing or walk away from the conflict, carried more risk than maintaining the blockade.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in Dubai.
Well, the blockade aims to shut down the oil trade in Iran. Its effects are also being felt at home as the price of gasoline is now the highest since July 2022.
AAA's national average for regulars up a nickel this morning, now $4.22 a gallon as oil prices rise another 4%. An hour from now, War Secretary Pete Hegseth will face questions at a House hearing, especially from Democrats critical of the Iran conflict. And also today, the House Oversight Committee gets a briefing from Secret Service on the White House Correspondents' Dinner attack. And among the questions, if the suspect, Cole Allen, is the one who fired the shot that hit an agent in the bulletproof vest.
Politico says the DOJ isn't sure. They write prosecutors believe that Allen fired at least one round from a 12-gauge shotgun. That's evident from the fact that Allen has been charged with one count of discharging a firearm during a crime of violence. But he's not been charged with assaulting law enforcement. Investigators at the FBI's Quantico lab are working to confirm ballistic results.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. Allen is due back in court tomorrow. A tornado has flattened parts of North Texas. Mineral wells got hit hard.
We've had multiple homes severely damaged and some people are displaced. The Mineral Wells ISD has opened up the cafeteria at the high school.
Police Chief Tim Dennison. Several people were injured, but so far they've not found anyone dead in all the destruction. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feel.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Well, it's a pretty start here to the day on this Wednesday. Sunny, but chill, like I said, a little chilly. 52 degrees now at 8:03. I'm Kim Sainanj for 97.1 FM Talk. The National Weather Service has confirmed at least 3 tornadoes hit the St. Louis area on Monday. An EF2 tornado with wind speeds just under 120 miles per hour touched down near Muscuda, Illinois. Another one hit near Germantown, Illinois. That one had max wind speeds of about 107 miles per hour. And finally, an EF0 tornado touched down near Marine, Illinois. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. Six Flags is reactivating its chaperone policy following several fights between teens on opening day of its new season last weekend. The policy requires all guests 16 and under to be accompanied by an adult who's at least 21 years old. Six Flags also says guests will no longer be allowed to wear face coverings of any kind. A man is facing charges for setting a historic Kirkwood church on fire. 25-year-old Cole Mezek is accused of breaking into Olive Chapel African Episcopal Church back on April 3rd, then using a choir robe and a candle to set a church pew on fire. Olive Chapel, which was built back in 1896, had damage to an original pew and also carpet from that fire. Kirkwood police have not classified it as a hate crime. All right, in sports, the Cardinals beat the Pirates yesterday. Final score 11-7. Game 3 in that 4-game series is coming up this evening. First pitch will be 5:40. And City SC taking on Chicago tonight. That's part of the U.S. Open Cup round of 16. The match begins at 7. You can listen, though, to the pregame at 6:50 on our sister station, Y98. 52 degrees now, just before 8:05. I'm Kim Sainange for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got some volume out there by now. If you are just headed out, the latest is a stall eastbound 70 before Wentzville Parkway, and it looks to me like it's on the right-hand shoulder. We had a stall eastbound 64 past Prospect out there on the right shoulder as well. So most of the volume right now is in the usual areas. If you are eastbound on 70, it actually looks pretty good. Some moderate volume at Wentzville and at the Blanchette Bridge, and then it opens up. 64, moderate volume out at Prospect, at Timberlake Manor, and then in pockets east of 270 on in through, it looks like Hanley before it improves. And westbound is slow from Hampton through the Inner Belt. We've got southbound 170 slowing at the Forest Park Parkway. Northbound 270, the slow pockets from 55 through Ladue Road. And 55 really starts to jam up around Bayless, headed into the construction zone. On the Illinois side, 64 westbound, that's slowing right at 159 in the construction zone there. And it's also a little bit off the pace, headed across the Poplar. But we've got an accident westbound 5570 near Exchange, really causing a delay. This report brought to you by the fabulous people at the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's a beautiful Wednesday across St. Louis. Lots of sunshine. The northwest flow is in solid control. It's cool for this time of year, but it's nice. A little breezy as we go through the day. 68 for the high. That breeze again from the northwest. Tonight, clear skies. Pretty good temperature drop with the clear skies and light winds, and we're going down to a chilly 44. Thursday, sunny and 68. Friday, sunny and 62. The weekend looks quiet. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We're at 52 degrees downtown at the Arch. It is 8:07. You can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you wherever you go. Listen to the show anytime. All you have to do is download our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, Kim, one of the most informed audiences in radio right here on 97.1 FM Talk. The answer to your question, did you see that on how much does it cost to get a photo ID?
I
State
did.
of Missouri?
Yep.
Cost of a Missouri state ID is $12.
Not bad.
No, $18 for a 6-year ID. If you want to bump it up from 3 years to a 6-year ID, just $18. So $3 to $4 a year is pretty cheap. Thank you, Tom, for pointing that out. If you're just joining us, Kim was pointing out in the last hour, the city of St. Louis is now offering its own unique ID to people, but suggesting in general that people are too stupid to get an ID if they needed it to vote.
Mm-hmm. It's
Hello.
it's ridiculous to expect people to get a photo ID with all their information, including their name. Heaven forbid they've been married and changed their name because
Right.
that's too complicated for women. But yeah, you can't get a photo ID to vote. That's sexist and racist and all the other words they throw at us. But yeah, here's a free ID, the Gateway ID, in order to receive city services.
Mm-hmm. That's the kind of the world that we're living in these days, for sure. But anyway, we've still, if you listen, if you missed our interview earlier, we had a great talk with Kiersten Pels, National Press Secretary for the RNC, talking about the midterms, what they're expecting, this rhetoric on the left. All you have to do is hit rewind. If you're listening to us on the Odyssey app, you can pick it up there. We podcast every segment wherever you download your favorite podcast. Just look for the Marc Cox Morning Show, and we will make that easy for you if you can't listen all 4 hours. I'm not sure what you're doing that doesn't allow you to listen all 4 hours. We've been here since 5 a.m., folks.
I know.
Where have you been?
I think the expectation is, fair that
I
people
know.
listen to all 4 hours.
I know. Coming up, we've still got some Kid Rock tickets to give away. Stay tuned for that. We got Jimmy Failla up next, caught in a live mic moment. It's funny they term it that way. Oftentimes, a live mic moment can be embarrassing if it's the president of the United States, like Ronald Reagan got caught in a live mic moment 45 years ago saying, "The bombs drop in 5 minutes," or something like that. He was joking, but he didn't know his microphone was on. So it can be embarrassing like that. It can be career ending if you're a member of the media and you utter something on a live mic that you're not supposed to say in public, like a sportscaster did not all that long ago.
Haven't we all been caught on a hot mic? If you've been in media for any amount of time, you've probably been caught on a hot mic. The question is, was it really embarrassing for you, or did
True.
it get you in trouble?
It's why you want to be best friends with people like Ethan, who are controlling the board over there, who can turn your mic on or off. You want to ply him with bourbon or whatever it takes to make sure he likes you.
Sometimes I screw that up too.
Well, you just got to watch yourself. But anyway, Jimmy was commenting. He was doing the red carpet, so to speak, at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He was interviewing people as they walked by, and when there was a minute of downtime and he didn't realize he was still on camera, he started joking about how lax security was right before the shooting happened. Like, everybody finally got all in there, and then at some point later, after the president got in the room, this guy tried to rush the doors, and now they're all saying he had a live mic moment. Jimmy's like, "Hey, bring it on. I'll talk about it." I think he'll be completely fine with what he said, because it was a true observation, sort of that situation. And I'll let Jimmy explain it when we get him on here in the next segment. Also, of course, Taylor Riggs, one of our favorite and most informed guests that we ever have on from Fox Business, talking about the economy and what's going on with jobs numbers and all of that stuff. So she's coming up at 8:35. First, though, let's get to our top stories, please, Ethan.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
BrightPath's corporate office released a statement to Fox 19, which reads, "Our organization does not tolerate and explicitly condemns any calls for violence. The comments made online by this individual are deeply inconsistent with our values. The individual in question has been terminated."
Yeah, fired, ladies and gentlemen. A teacher from the greater Cincinnati area is out of a job today because she went on and gloated about the assassination attempt and how sorry she was that they weren't successful. So you have free speech. You're not free from consequences.
Their actions now will be kept as evidence, and that one day, even if it's not today or this week or this year, they will be held responsible for their action.
J.B. Pritzker, the governor over there in that state next door, just warning people that he's going to go after federal ICE agents because they were enforcing the law. That's what the left is promising you if they ever get power back.
The fact that we haven't funded Homeland Security, dangerous for the U.S. Does Donald Trump roll up his sleeves and say, let's solve these problems? No. He's focused on this ballroom.
Chuck Schumer, just disgusting. The president made a perfectly legitimate point. If we had a ballroom at the White House, which is secure, things like this wouldn't happen. But the left doesn't like the ballroom just because it was Donald Trump's idea. That's the silly season we all live in.
You're an advocate for abortion, for abortion policy. What's your favorite type of abortion?
I am an advocate for patients having access to the full realm of reproductive health care.
But do you have a preferred method of abortion that you like?
I do not.
Oh, Brandon Gill absolutely sliced and diced this liberal pro-abortion lady that got out in front of the House yesterday. He kept asking her very uncomfortable questions. It's like reading the books that shouldn't be in your kid's library out loud at a school board meeting and watching the board members blush and try to shush you because they realize it's not a good idea, but the liberal in them won't allow them to remove the book from the library. But they don't want you to read it to them. That's what he did to her yesterday. Play cut 16 for the people, please.
How about this one? It's called dilation and evacuation. Forceps are inserted into the uterus, grabbing and twisting the baby's body to dismember him or her. If the head is too large, it must be crushed in order to remove it. Do you prefer that method?
I would prefer to talk about the reason the hearing was called and the basis of my expert testimony.
It's uncomfortable to hear this, isn't it? It is. I think it is, because it's barbaric and evil. How about this one? It's called the saline injection. It's when a 20% salt solution is injected through the mother's abdomen into the baby's amniotic fluid.
Yeah, he got very graphic with it. And I'm sorry if that was uncomfortable for some of you to hear, but there are people out there that need to hear it. And he had this lady on the hot seat, and she did not want to answer the question. I mean, it was a beautiful moment there where he just proved the hypocrisy of these pro-abortion people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how many people who support abortion have seen an abortion?
Oh, no, none.
Because just showing them a video, obviously it would be very traumatic if you were to expect, school-age kids to watch that. But I do wonder, just out of curiosity, how many people's minds would be changed if they were actually forced to watch that. Yeah. Because how, as a human being, how can you possibly witness something like that and be okay with it?
That's a good point. Brandon Gill, again, there, the congressman asking those hard questions yesterday. All right, so we do have a giveaway to do here, don't we, Ethan? Tell me here. It is there it is. Kid Rock is coming to the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater May 15th. The prize provided to us by the fine folks at Live Nation. If you want to win a pair of tickets, I need you to be caller number 7 at 314-241-9797. Caller 7, 314-241-9797. You'll get to see Kid Rock on the folks at Live Nation coming up on May 15th. All right, going to get to a quick break here. On the other side, we'll talk to the one and only Jimmy Failla.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, on the roads, the problem has been that we had an accident on the Illinois side, and there's a jam behind it. So if you are a westbound 5570 driver and thinking, what the heck is going on as you approach 64, that's it. And we've got a jam that goes well past 203, not quite to 111. Now, there's also some volume westbound 64 headed for 159 this morning. And northbound 55 is still slowing just north of Bayless into the construction zone. Westbound 40 lines up near Hampton out through Hanley. Eastbound isn't too bad, a little slow at Prospect at Timberlake Manor, and then from about Lindbergh through Big Bend, but that's just moderate volume. And moderate volume along northbound 270 between 21 and Ladue Road. Quiet through North County and looking good on the Poplar Street Bridge itself. This report brought to you by the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. I'm Sue Thomas with Traffic, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
We've all done it. We put a little too much on the old credit card, or you've taken out a short-term loan for some reason, and you're paying a ridiculous, 2 or 3 points over prime interest rate. There's no reason to do that. If you're a homeowner, you're probably sitting on equity in your house. Golden Oak Lending is the perfect place to call to find out how easily it is you can access that. And then you can get rid of that short-term debt and the high interest rate, and you can refinance at a great low rate. They've been working on this for a long time. A lot of lenders say we're going to drop rates. They already have at Golden Oak. And you can refinance. You can get a great interest rate. You can get rid of that. The average cash-out refinance saves $1,100 a month. That's money they're not writing to bills to credit card companies, right? Or short-term lenders. So reach out to them today, and 314-567-GOLD gets you there. You can talk to one of their certified loan officers, and they can answer your questions for you. You can start your application right now at goldenoaklending.com. When I refied with them, I did it all online. Uploaded the documents, chatted with the loan officer, all of it right online. It's perfect, and it works so well. Call them at 314-567-GOLD. Go to goldenoaklending.com. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. Their NMLS number is 114937.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is St. Louis conservative.
I love that they have like 2 random chicks holding the front door open. We're not even trying anymore. It's not even like, I just mean like they're not even like Secret Service people. It's like the girls who work here are holding the door. Even if it was the guys, it wouldn't even make it better. It's like they might as well put a doorstop in.
Hey girl. Jimmy Failla in the house from Fox Across America.
All right, we got Jimmy Failla, man. They're making a big deal about your hot mic moment. I say you're telling the truth, brother.
Am I ever?
Yes, you are.
It's kind of hard to say I was off the mark, considering a gunman came running through the area I was describing moments later.
Wow.
Did you
Crazy.
take heat for that comment of people trying to say, "Oh, he was being critical of the security"?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm making those comments because I want to protect the frickin' president. But that is the number one question I get asked. Is that? And the number 2 question, because I was in the ballroom when it happened, is, did you see it? And no, I was checking out Melania. Come on, man.
So set that up for us, Jimmy. I got to see some of your pregame interviews there. I saw you interviewed Brian Stelter and asked him about Greg Gutfeld. That was pretty funny. But what were you were basically interviewing people as they entered the ballroom? Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was on the red carpet because we were getting ready to do a live 3-hour TV show. So the people that are going to be in the ballroom, you interview them on the way in. So we were on the red carpet interviewing the people on the way in. Okay, and they were airing some of that on Fox Live, and then some of that would be played on my show a little bit later on.
Yeah.
So in between guests, I had noticed that the entrance to that lobby, the door was essentially being propped open by what looked like 2 female hotel workers or members of the press. I don't know the answer to that. Now, it's possible there is a lot of plainclothes Secret Service running around, but that wasn't it. There were 2 girls holding umbrellas, letting people onto the red carpet because they didn't want him to get wet and there was a little bit of a drizzle.
Ah.
Now, to be clear, because I've been to that dinner a lot, Secret Service presence was the same. The room was completely lined with Secret Service. There wasn't an inch of the room that didn't have it. Every cabinet member that came out to talk to me had Secret Service. So that perimeter was the same. But the hotel, I'm not kidding, it did seem loose. You know, normally when you go to a hotel, you need to use your room key to get the elevator to go up. That was not the case this week at the Hilton. You could just get in and go to any floor you wanted, which is, good for the hookers I ordered, but bad for, security.
Well,
I'm being silly.
So this guy ran down 10 flights of stairs because he had a room at the hotel. So so you're talking about the elevators. Was there no one standing by the stairwell door to make sure that anyone who tried to get into where you guys were was stopped?
Apparently not. And that's why I don't feel bad about that clip. Because the truth is, I think the president is in a really tough spot because these people are guarding his life. So what's he going to say? You guys suck. You got to do better. He's in a tough spot. And the truth is, though, they have to do better. The advanced team has to do better. The idea that a guy got a shot off him at Butler and Trump is the reason Trump is alive, not anybody else. That counter sniper who killed Thomas Crooks is irrelevant to this story if Trump doesn't turn his head, okay? Because the shot got off. Then you go down to the golf course, okay? If that shooter, Dylan Routh, or whatever that maniac's name was, okay, had a clean shot at Trump on the fifth hole and just waited for Trump to get closer because I believe he wanted to watch it because he's a sicko, Secret Service guy shot him. But again, he shouldn't have been in position to do it. And then when you talk about the other night, a mess just the same. And I said this, okay? You knew security was bad when I got in.
Yeah. So what did you do afterwards? Because clearly the thing came to a screeching halt at some point. Did you just get big-footed and the network took over again and started reporting on the breaking news?
I couldn't get to my camera. So my camera was in the lobby.
Okay.
That's where all the media setup was. And that's where the shooter ran through that area. And that's where the Secret Service guys, if you've seen the videos, ran through and shot at him, right where I was filming. So there was no way to the camera. It's interesting because after the shooting and everybody was just kind of in the room trying to make sense of it, I tried to go to the camera. I kicked open the ballroom door. Probably 100 people were pointing guns at me, yelling, get down on the ground. It was the funniest thing. And then I'm not kidding. 3 tiny Guatemalan waitresses saw that and began crying. And I spent the next 10 minutes holding 3 tiny 2-foot-tall women in my arms, which was how I had fantasized about the night ending all day long, just not because of a shooting.
So we've all seen the video now of the guy running through the lobby. From that vantage perspective, was the red carpet to the left side of that picture of the doors, or was it back to the right that we couldn't see?
Yes. So the deal is the way it's interesting layout. The red carpet, from what you saw, that guy running through the magnometers, is probably a legitimate 50 feet away.
Okay.
And it's separated by a set of VIP doors that the cabinet members go through. So the Secret Service ran through the doors that were immediately to my left. That magnometer, which is on the other side of those doors, required me to walk around about, I would say, 50 feet of partition to get to that lobby.
Okay.
And the deal is, once the president's in the room and the Marine band plays, there's nobody going through the magnometers anymore because there's no reason to leave the room. The bathrooms are within the magnometers, the liquor's within the magnometers, so nothing you'd get up to go get, like a drink or a bathroom, require you to leave through security. So the only people going through security are like TV hosts like me who are going back and forth from set, and I was the last guy to go through the bags before the gunman. Pretty wild.
Wow. We were talking about this yesterday. If you see that shot from inside where the president's being shown the trick by the magician, then it zooms out. There's a guy, everybody's under the table, except one guy on the lower left side of the picture continues to eat his salad and doesn't flinch. I want to know who that guy was.
I figured out who it was. He's some booking agent, I think, whose client is Wolf Blitzer.
Oh, no kidding.
Some talent agent. At least that's what I read.
Yeah, no, it's true. He's a veteran. He's been to a lot of those dinners. And the one thing he knew is you weren't getting out of that place anytime soon. It usually takes an hour to get out of that ballroom.
Yeah.
So if I was the type of guy who eats salad, I would have ate my salad too.
I love it. Jimmy, great as always, my friend. Looking forward to your show this weekend.
Let's get him, fellas.
All
Take
right.
care.
We'll
Thanks.
see you. Timmy Failla there, host of Fox Across America. You can hear him every night here on the radio station at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7, right after Reardon's show. All right, coming up, we'll get to Taylor Riggs from Fox Business.
Don't miss a baseball showdown at Busch Stadium when Shohei Ohtani and the LA Dodgers roll into the Lou May 1st through the 3rd. Kick off the weekend with Friday Night Live and a must-have short-sleeve hoodie giveaway. Saturday brings a Mason Wynn bobblehead celebrating his Gold Glove Award. Then Sunday features a sleek Blade collar shirt giveaway. Big names, big matchups, and big giveaways all weekend long. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotion.
This is Mason Wynn. Get your tickets at cardinals.com.
The 1-2, and that's grounded up the middle. Diving play, Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws, he got him!
What's up, Cardinals fans? Mason Wynn here. On Saturday, May 2nd, when we face the Dodgers, you can take home the Mason Wynn Gold Glove bobblehead presented by the Shane Company. It's got my chain, my first gold glove, my whole look, just how I rock it. Plus, a few rare all-gold baubles will be randomly mixed in for 500 lucky fans. This is one you won't want to miss. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotion.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but oil prices have risen this morning by more than 3.6% as traders react to the United Arab Emirates dropping out of OPEC, effective May 1st. West Texas Intermediate at nearly 104 per barrel, Brent at roughly 115. Big Four firm KPMG is shutting its federal government audit business and will redeploy more than 450 U.S. staff after losing a $60 million a year contract with the Pentagon. The Financial Times reports KPMG had audited the U.S. Army for almost a decade. Spirit Airlines discussions over a potential $500 million U.S. government rescue financing have hit an impasse. Bloomberg News reports a group of lenders, including hedge fund Citadel, is pushing back against proposed terms that could significantly erode the value of their claims and limit recoveries. Futures are still mixed ahead of the Fed's interest rate meeting later today. That's Your Money Now.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code QUICK to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code QUICK to borrow up to $10,000. Use code QUICK to borrow up to $10,000.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We have been dealing with an accident on the Illinois side, westbound 5570, really close to Exchange Avenue, and there's still a jam behind it. So now things are fine on the bridges as traffic is jammed behind it. But westbound 64 slowing on either side of 159 due to road work. We've got northbound 270 still stacking up near Bayless in the construction zone, and northbound 270 slow pockets of moderate volume between Gravois and Ladue Road. Now, eastbound 70, moderate volume at 141. 64, a little slow out at Prospect, but mostly in pockets east of Lindbergh through Big Bend, with westbound slowing near Hampton. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Another 5-star review from my friends at Rhino Shield. Let me read it to you. They painted this beautiful house down in Oakville that has stucco on the outside of it. I'm telling you, Rhino Shield, you can apply it to just about anything, and here's why. Here's the review. I couldn't be more pleased. They painted the exterior of our home, which is stucco. Not only does the paint look amazing, the prep work, the caulking, the repairs they made before the painting ever started ensured our home would not only look amazing, but would be free from water intrusion. That's the key here. Rhino Shield is 100% waterproof, so it covers up unpainted brick or whatever's on the outside of your home for the most part, and it protects it like a ceramic shield. It is beautifully durable, the same bright, vivid colors you can find with any paint, but this is not regular paint. It's Rhino Shield, and it is tough as a rhino's hide. You need to take a look at this. Let Darren come over and give you a free evaluation. They can put it on your home, your business, your condo, your church. It doesn't matter. If you're in the sound of my voice, Rhino Shield is available for you. Get your free evaluation today and get on the list. 877-25-RHINO or online at 877-25rhino.com.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
The summer heat and humidity will be here soon. Is your air conditioner ready? This is Corey with Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If your cooling system hasn't been checked to be ready for the warm weather, call Air Comfort Service. AC checks keep your equipment operating at maximum efficiency, prevent repairs, and extend the life of your equipment. For every AC clean and check booked in April, we'll donate a bag of pet food to Open Door Animal Sanctuary in House Springs. Stay in your comfort zone with a cooling system check from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Hey, it's Mark Cox, and if you're still looking for the perfect Mother's Day gift, I've got an idea. Head to Hot Tubs of St. Louis. They're having a huge Mother's Day sale. A hot tub isn't just a gift, it's relaxation, better sleep, stress relief, and a backyard upgrade the whole family will love. I'll be live on site Saturday, May 9th from 11 to 1 at Hot Tubs of St. Louis, 5030 Griffin Road, just south of 270 and Tesson Ferry. Come by, say hi, and find Mom the gift she really wants.
From Fenton to Fairview, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The United States government, the National Security Agency, intercepted conversations of President Zelensky's government in Ukraine in 2022, late 2022, conspiring with federal workers at the USAID to come up with a plan to take $200 million of USAID money. That is your money, folks, taxpayer money, route it through a series of transactions, move it into the United States, and launder it into Joe Biden's 2024 campaign and the Democratic National Committee. We have the intercepts for the first time. Tulsi Gabbard's team was willing to declassify them. There is now an investigation underway, beginning with USAID, to look at who was involved, whether any crimes were committed, and if that is the case, to refer that to the FBI in the next few days.
Wow, John Solomon there, the best investigative reporter in D.C., or at least one of the best, with that breaking news yesterday. Had you heard that story yet? They've got intercepts of Zelensky plotting to redirect U.S. money back to the campaign conference of the Joe Biden campaign. Your tax dollars, just bear that in mind, your tax dollars that were going there I mean, honestly, remember they had tried to impeach Donald Trump for a conversation he had with Zelensky to get to the root of the Biden corruption, and they tried to impeach him over it. And here it is on full display during Joe Biden's administration. It's unbelievable. All right, time to talk business for just a minute. Let's get to our friend Taylor Riggs.
Look at 100 deals a day. I choose one.
Nobody knows if the stock is going to go up, down, sideways, or in circles.
The most valuable commodity I know of is information.
Who is that girl?
I'm Taylor Riggs.
Great to have Taylor back on this morning. Taylor, how are you?
Thanks for having me, as always.
Absolutely. What am I hearing here? I'm hearing a commercial. I'm sorry. I had my audio up on my computer because I was playing a soundbite there. Sorry about that, Taylor.
I thought Taylor was at like a jazz concert. Or
I did
like that.
too.
No.
Sorry, no, that was my bad. Hey, Taylor, what's the story on the UAE exiting OPEC? I mean, that may seem deep in the woods to people here, but is that an indication of a bigger problem for OPEC?
I think I just heard the
She just dropped.
call drop.
Oh,
Yep,
let's try.
so we'll have
let's
to call
try this again. Taylor, are you there?
She'll have to call. We'll call her again.
Wait a minute. I just punched. You don't have her mic up.
I can hear you now.
There we go.
Good. Sorry about that. How are you?
Don't hang up on me. We just got started.
I don't know what happened there. That was so weird.
It's all good.
Yeah, well, good. Well, I was just asking you. I was looking on the Fox Business page this morning, and there's a story about the UAE, United Arab Emirates, exiting OPEC. What is that all about?
Yeah, so this comes after long-standing tensions, I think, between Saudi Arabia, who is seen as the leader of OPEC, and the UAE. And they had talked about pulling out before, but I actually think it's really instrumental that they did it now. The UAE energy minister said that the Iran war just gave them sort of an opportune time to pull out of OPEC. And I think what this does is there has been some criticism about OPEC over their production cuts. They want high oil prices, so they limit production,
right,
so that they can defend the price of oil. And I think the UAE is kind of siding with Trump and saying, no, we're going to pump, drill, baby, drill, and we're not going to listen to an oligarchy that effectively tells us what we can and cannot produce, plus we want the revenue. So the UAE is exiting. I view this as a little bit of a win for Trump. There's been, I think, some frustration in the past about OPEC and OPEC Plus. And again, this sort of breaks up that oligarchy in the Middle East that for so long had really sort of been increasing oil prices to the detriment of all of us.
Yeah, that's interesting. As we did a live interview with somebody who was reporting from the UAE. I can't remember which reporter it was who was over there. And I'm looking at it on a map just to kind of figure out exactly where he was. And, of course, the UAE is part of that horn that juts out into the Strait of Hormuz. Am I correct about that?
Yep.
It's right there. I don't understand why they wouldn't just build a pipeline from one edge of their country and completely avoid the Strait of Hormuz and just let people stop on the other side and fill up their tankers. They could pull the plug on all this.
Yep. Saudi Arabia has a pipeline. It runs east to west to avoid the strait. Now, the problem is I don't think there has been pressure from the United States or a White House like this who has told them, we're taking on Iran, figure it out. And so I think everyone was kind of resting on their laurels and keeping the Strait of Hormuz as the key global choke point. But to their credit, Saudi Arabia does have a tunnel, an underground pipeline that runs east to west.
Huh.
It doesn't have as much capacity, so they still have to push things through the Strait of Hormuz. But I guarantee you they're going to be using that pipeline a lot more. And I bet a lot of the other Middle East countries are going to start thinking, you know what, we're sick of Iran. We're sick. We want regional stability. We want this to be an AI data center flourishing region. We're so sick of Iran, and we're going to try to find ways around them. And I bet you'll start to see more pipelines the way that Saudi Arabia has start to be developed. Yeah, it'll take time. We can't do that tomorrow. It could take a couple of years. But I think this whole thing has really started to wake people up in that region to say, all right, you know what, we are sick of Iran and we're going to try to find some ways around them.
Taylor, I know Kevin Warsh is still in the middle of his Senate confirmation hearing to become the next Fed chair, and I'm hearing that today he's set to clear some key procedural hurdle. What do you know about that?
Yeah. So, look, I think that he could be voted in as Fed chair by the end of the week. So he'll keep, I believe that maybe it's the Senate banking today, and then that sort of like opens that up. And they have the vote. Tom Tillis was one that was holding it up. He said that he would not vote for Kevin Warsh until the DOJ dropped the criminal probe into Jay Powell. The DOJ dropped the criminal probe, and so Tom Tillis came out and said, you have my vote. So they're going to get through that vote today, and we could have a new Fed chair by the end of the week.
You know, I guess I see the politics that Tillis was playing here. I don't like it. I don't like it. But does that mean that the Fed gets off scot-free for wasting all of that money redoing that building?
Good question, and no. So Jeanine Pirro, the AG, said that she reserves the right to reopen a probe as she deems fit. Now, I don't know if that is coming or not, but that's sort of the language that lawyers use. If we drop a probe, we retain the right to reopen it if new facts come in.
Right.
I think, the key thing is cost overruns aren't criminal. Right? They're annoying, but they're not criminal. So we need to see, did he knowingly lie to Congress? What is up with the cost overruns? Was this really a building that was in way worse shape than we thought, and he knew that and lied about it? But the cost overruns alone aren't deserving of a criminal probe, with all due respect to Jeanine Pirro, who we love and was a former colleague of ours. That's sort of the language I pull from Larry Kudlow. So we're going to have to kind of figure out how this case moves forward, and if there is a new probe reopened, what does that look like, and what are the new facts that are alleged and stated?
Taylor, it sounds like a great campaign slogan for some of these Congress people. Incompetence is not criminal.
I know.
See?
And it's
I think
infuriating.
It's infuriating.
People are sick of it.
it's
Graduate
true.
of the Leering Center, they can put that next to it as well.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
it's
boy.
Infuriating. I wish I had better answers for you and the American people.
I got you. Taylor, listen, we'll be watching the Big Money Show today, starting at noon here, noon Central Time. Thank you.
Perfect. You got it.
You take care of yourself. Taylor Riggs, glad we got her back on the line there. That was good.
If Jasmine Crockett runs, she could then. AOC, there's a lot of people who
is not
they
criminal.
should use that.
I should copyright that before one of them uses my idea.
Offer it up for free.
I'm telling you. It's so fitting for them. Because you're like, why are these people not in jail? Well, they're just too stupid. They're just incompetent. So that's why. Because we can't charge them with just being too stupid. Oh, my goodness. That's just crazy. There's a story out today that nearly half of Gen X workers are being forced to delay their retirement because stagnant wages are affecting their ability to save at the rate they would like to for retirement. That's something else I want to talk to Taylor about, but we ran out of time. She's got network stuff she's got to do, so I can't keep her that much longer. That's a stunning development, and it's probably true. There are people who wanted to retire in 60, 62, 63, 64, 65 years old, and they've had to delay that by a little bit. Hopefully that gets turned around here shortly, as soon as the oil prices drop a little bit, which they will when we get this whole thing figured out. All right, we're going to be back with some final thoughts in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
There is an accident. There was an incident on northbound 55 north of Highway A. They had to shut down the roadway to get this cleared. I've just been listening to chatter that says it won't be long before they reopen that. But in the meantime, we've got people just sitting in a parking lot just north of 67 up to just north of A. So if you're driving in the Festus area, they say it shouldn't be too long. Now, on the Illinois side, there's been volume this morning westbound on 64. Well, now there's an accident before you get to 159. That has caused a delay. They've cleared the accident westbound 5570 near Exchange, but some volume there right at 55, 70, 64. And eastbound 40 on the Missouri side, most of the volume there is east of Lindbergh through Big Bend, and southbound 170 is slowing in that area. Eastbound 70, just moderate volume at 141. And northbound 270 is thinning out between Gravois and 64. This report brought to you by Point with an E Pest Control. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Call Point Pest Control, mention Annie, and get 10% off your pest problem. Once summertime hits, ant populations begin to reach peak numbers, maybe even into the millions. Call Point Pest Control before they invade your home. Call Point Pest Control 636-798-0023.
An interest rate for their mortgage. It's like 3%. And they were looking at moving and they just thought it's so hard to want to give that up. And I know a lot of you can relate to that you want to make changes at your home. Maybe you need more space, more usable space, but it's really hard to want to pay a higher interest rate. So here's the good news. All you need to do is go to lakesiderd.com. Call my friends at Lakeside Renovation and Design because they can transform your home. Any space that you're not liking, that's not really efficient, they can help it make it your dream space. They have all these ideas. Their in-house designers have an eye for design. So all the stressful parts of trying to do these projects at your home, whether it's a kitchen, bathroom, maybe you want to finish your basement, they can help you with all those decisions that stress us out. Maybe you've wanted to have a better outdoor space to host your family and friends. They can help you with that too. Family-owned company, veteran-founded, A+ rating from the BBB, been helping families here for the last 30 years. It's Lakeside Renovation and Design, or go to lakesiderd.com.
What's happening now
He appears to reference a motive.
is happening here.
He writes this quote, administration officials, they are targets.
It doesn't happen to people that don't do anything. We're going to continue to do a great job.
97.1 FM Talk.
When a parent struggles with addiction or dies from a drug overdose, what happens to their children? Far too many end up in foster care, unable to ever return to their birth homes because it's simply not safe. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is fighting the clock so that teens don't age out of foster care, leaving them at a higher risk of addiction and other negative outcomes that can happen to a child without the love and stability of a permanent family. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
The BizDash 5K, presented by Worldwide Technology, is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, this high-energy corporate race is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, fun, and unbeatable team bonding for companies of every size. Runners and walkers of all levels are welcome. It all comes together at Energizer Park Thursday, May 7th in downtown St. Louis. An office party like no other. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
The Cards, the Pirates.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 5:40.
Play ball.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
The home of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. With a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
All right, time for a little history lesson here for you. The President of the United States had an attempt on his life on Saturday night. Nobody denies that, as much as the left haters want to question and suggest, like Jasmine Crockett, that it was staged somehow. They want to tell you that all of them were staged, right? They don't want to believe this, even though it's their rhetoric that directly led to it. And one of the biggest offenders is the hater named Jimmy Kimmel. He hates Donald Trump. He exists for one reason now on his show every night, and that's to tell lies and to make bad jokes about Donald Trump, and in some cases, the president's wife, which he did leading up to the assassination attempt. And then he wants to go on TV the next day he's on after the assassination attempt and not apologize. Listen, just as a reminder to what Jimmy Kimmel said this week. In the wake of the shooting, he was more focused on why he was being accused of wrongdoing. Listen.
And there was no big reaction to it until this morning when I greeted the day facing yet another Twitter vomit storm. And a call to fire me from our First Lady, Melania Trump, saying I should be fired because of a joke I made, again, 5 nights ago. It was a pretend roast. I said, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at her, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow, which obviously was a joke about their age difference.
Yeah, like his audience laughed at it again. After, these are the sickos that watch Jimmy Kimmel. After the assassination attempt on the president's life, they continued to laugh at that bad joke. That was a bad joke. It was not funny at all. A man has had 2 assassination attempts on his life, and he's joking about her looking expectantly like a widow. And compare and contrast that to this from one of the greatest late night hosts ever. Right after Ronald Reagan's assassination attempt, they held the Oscars in 1981. And Johnny Carson, who was a registered Democrat, got up on stage to talk about it.
I'm sure that all of you here and most of you watching tonight understand why we delayed this program for 24 hours. Because of the incredible events of yesterday, that old adage, the show must go on, seemed relatively unimportant. The Academy, ABC Television, and all of us connected with the show felt because of the uncertain outcome, as of this time yesterday, it would have been inappropriate to stage a celebration. But the news today is very good, as you know. The president is in excellent condition at last reports. He's been conducting business.
Applause by Hollywood liberals. Imagine that. 1981.
And he happens to be in very good spirits. After all, you must remember this is a man who yesterday, while he was in the hospital unable to speak, wrote on a sheet of paper, "All things considered, I'd rather be in Philadelphia." So tonight the show does go on. Now, 2 weeks ago, President Reagan videotaped an opening greeting for this occasion. We were in contact with the White House about 2 hours ago, and it was the president's express wishes that we use that introduction. And I might add that you might like to know that he also asked for a television set in his room so he could view this program tonight.
Yeah, that's class.
Yeah.
That's Johnny Carson. That's back when the hatred in Hollywood was not what we see today.
Yeah,
it was a different world.
He could definitely teach Jimmy Kimmel a lesson in being classy. Like a Bill Belichick age difference, that might be funny, still a little bit of a weird joke, but the fact that Trump has had already 2 prior assassination attempts when he made that joke, not funny.
Unnecessary, completely unnecessary. All right, that does it for us. Brian Kilmeade coming up here in just a few minutes. Of course, you can listen to Annie and then Marc Reardon to finish out your day. Failla at 6 o'clock. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.